Hello, everybody. Thank you for sticking around after Table Takes and our interview with Grant Howitt. We are gathered here this evening to play Heart, the City Beneath, which is the sequel, sister, weird, twisted sibling of Spire, The City Must Fall. So in Heart, we all these players who are gathered around me are they are characters who have been driven out of an oppressive city above, a great spire, an ancient drow city that for centuries, for decades, has been under the oppressive thumb of a high elf regime that has been trying to kind of crush local culture, religion, thought. And people who don't fit into that system have been driven into a weird, surreal, reality breaking underworld beneath that called the Heart. At some point in the past, the city tried to build a mass transit system. Thought it was a great idea. It figured that if they were to drill into an extra dimensional power source, it would be a wonderful opportunity to reroute that power through the city. That went extraordinarily poorly, and reality has begun to break down underneath the city. You are all the dregs of society in one capacity or the other, who have found yourselves pushed into this underground, pushed into the depths below this city, where the deeper you get, the closer to the heart you get, the more the rules of reality begin to shift. And this is important because the path between locations can shift if it's not consistently maintained and stabilized. So travel becomes difficult. You might know where two locations are broadly, but the path between them is a brand new dungeon delve each time, unless you are using a well-worn path, which may not always be convenient to you. So, why don't we introduce our players? Let me see if everyone is actually on. Yep, there we go. Why don't all the players introduce themselves and maybe describe a little bit about their character? Actually, no, let's save the characters because we have something to do that. But Bonsai, why don't you introduce yourself and mention yourself to the audience?
Hello, my name is Bonsai Baby. I play Lynn Vassell. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Yeah, sure. Yes. I am a heart song called witch drow.
Okay.
Which seemed tragic. It's tattooed on my face now.
Sure. Jordan, what about you?
My name is Jordan. I work at Gen Con, and today I will be playing Tenacity Malrik, a human heretic.
And what about you, Isabella?
Hi, I'm Isabella Price, aka Isabella Von Ghoul, and I'm one of the co-hosts of Table Takes. And for tonight, I'll be playing Yeneth Denarian, who is a junk mage.
Okay.
Human.
And what about you? Junk mage human? Okay. Javion?
Hi, my name is Javion. I am a recurring guest here at Gen Con, and I'm playing Quinn Moreau, the Knight of the Vermissian.
So the Vermissian is that's the train system that I mentioned. That was set up and pierced. It dug too deep. It pierced the line between realities and tainted things. And so you are a knight who is, kind of quested to protect and defend the world against the mistakes that were made, basically. So this is kind of the motley crew that we have assembled. And let us give a little bit more character, perhaps, to your ancestries. Okay, so I have a list of kind of trinkets that maybe some of you have gathered. I believe we have 2 humans. We have 1 drow. Javion, do you know whether you would like to play a drow, play a human, play an Aelfir or a high elf, or whether you'd like to play a gnoll?
Nobody picked Knoll, and I'm disappointed, so I'm going to pick a Knoll.
Okay. So gnolls are forbidden in the city above. The High Elves are actually at war with a great gnollish empire to the south, and they're infamous for their mechanical and technological ability, and their machines being powered by demonological aspects. They're powered by demons. They're made from demons. If you listen to the propaganda that the High Elves say, the gnolls are just servants of demons and are waiting to sacrifice anybody they conquer to their unending appetites. You can decide how accurate that is. Why don't we start with you? I'm going to roll for two things that you might have on you that are kind of, gnollish of nature.
Okay.
One is that you have a vial of rainwater from the Southlands, from the Gnoll Empire. Okay?
Okay.
And two, you have hairdressing, scissors, razor, and mirror.
Okay.
So
a
these are not
fancy gnoll.
A fresh cut. All right.
Yep, maybe. So these are not necessarily
Say that
magic
again.
items. You have a hairdressing, scissors, razor, and mirror. So perhaps you use these to maintain your own mane. It's up to you.
Scissors,
Razor, and mirror.
razor. Okay.
So the idea is that, Heart doesn't provide a ton of detail about the culture. It's not an exhaustive gazetteer of this world. But you have this list of Gnoll items and Drow items, and, you have a vial of rainwater from the Southlands. Is that important? Do all Gnolls carry that? Do you carry that for a particular reason? It's a thing for you to kind of flesh out kind of how you want. So let's do one of the humans first. Isabel or Jordan? Who would like to go first? All right, we can go with Jordan then.
Jordan said Thank you, Jordan.
Okay, I'll go first.
Jordan, you have a bullet with your own name carved on it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Dang.
Oh, I rolled the same thing twice. You have two bullets now. Okay. So in addition to the bullet with your own name carved on it, you have a harmonica inscribed with Summer Court in all capital letters.
Okay.
Bonsai,
Ooh.
you have a midwife's bloodletting kit,
All right, cool.
as well as your mother's second best dagger.
Oh, nice. I was hoping to base something off my mom.
Well, there you go. And finally, Isabella, your human. You have once colorful mercenary fatigues, along with dog-eared White Cross travel documents. So you have like very old, kind of tattered travel documents and a mercenary's fatigues.
Does it matter that they were once colorful? They're just
It faded. The suggestion is it's been time and wear that has brought both of those down. So you can decide whether they're yours or whether they're someone else's, but those are some ideas that you can use to kind of flesh out some of the details of your backstory as we're kind of playing through the game and seeing how things unfold. Feel free to incorporate those in your description of what you're doing, or how you want to engage with stuff. Just inspiration, basically. So, is everybody ready to jump in and see what adventures we have beneath the spire?
Let's do it.
Sure am.
Go.
The last thing I probably want to mention is that this is a horror game. This is a body horror game as well. Those are things that I enjoy a great deal, and I like to lean into pretty hard. But not everybody who is a player or who is a viewer is necessarily going to agree with that or be on board with that. We had a brief discussion before the stream about some lines and veils that we wanted to draw, of things that we didn't want to see depicted at all, things that we didn't want to see on camera, stuff like that. There might very well be stuff that comes up. So I just want to, again, reiterate to the players, If something happens and you don't want to see that on camera, you don't want to deal with it, raise your hand. Just mention it. We will 100% move on. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We're here to have fun. There's not an authentic, perfect thing that we need to express or get through, basically. And then similarly, anybody in the audience, this is going to hopefully creep you out a little bit, but in a way that you will enjoy. If anything does get too much, feel free to step away, come back, mention it in chat, and we can try to avoid it. But enjoy yourself. That's the whole point of this. I figure we will get into the rules as the rules come up. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay. Well, everybody, it began with a festival day. There were bright banners, there were streamers, there were jingling bells tied to every corner of the stalls that were packed into the market of a settlement called Deves. And this is beneath the city. Imagine that you're in a great cavern and there are these open air stalls and shacks and buildings on stilts, buildings stacked on top of buildings, stacked on top of buildings with rickety passages or platforms, ramps leading to all of them. Today, they're all brightly colored with these banners hanging off of them. They had bells tied off of everything. It was quite an exciting day until they arrived.
Oh.
And a few at first, and then more and more, you saw these bloated, waterlogged bodies hidden beneath plain robes. And when any of them were challenged or touched, seawater would pour from their mouths. Seawater would well up from their feet. And in the matter of minutes, the whole settlement of Deves was swamped. It was submerged, flooded. You may have been able to rescue a few people of Deves, but you had to flee. You had to rush for your lives through what normally is a very easy traversal through the Pulse Line, an underground railroad tunnel between Deves and the Temple of the Moon beneath. Normally, it would have been an easy trip, but as you went through it, you realized that it had already filled up with water too, up to your waist. You had to swim through seawater. You had to brush away rotting hands, that had been sunken beneath the ocean for far too long. You were barely able to get to the moon beneath, the Temple of the Moon beneath, which is a holy place. For 200 years, the Church of the Moon has survived down here in the heart, driven from the Spire as a heretic religion. But down here, the pieces of the temple have been smuggled from the surface. This is where the faithful can pursue the wisdom of the true goddess, the true moon beneath the earth. But even this temple had water flowing around it, lapping up to it. Even it was facing the threat of flooding. And the very tenuous, very, very fraught, stressful kind of alliance between the hounds and the priestess of the temple was coming to a head as you arrived. Sister Ariel, one of the priestesses, had a plan, though. She knew of a warding rune deeper in the heart, down in the stepwell, that if only you can recover that warding rune and return to the Temple of the Moon beneath, then you could save the temple and it would prevent the flooding. It would keep at least this settlement free of whatever is drowning the rest of the heart all of a sudden. And that is where you find yourselves, having been dispatched out from the Temple of the Moon beneath by Sister Ariel to go find deeper in the heart, down into the earth, into the flesh of this place, to find some room, some way to protect the settlements above from whatever is flooding them. Now, Quinn, Jamie, what's your full character's name again?
Quinn Moreau.
Quinn Moreau.
The penitent Vermissian knight.
Mm-hmm. Quinn, do you want to say what you're penitent about?
Sure. So Quinn is from an order of occultists who are not like a lot of other orders. They take great passion in devoting themselves to their gods, I suppose,
Mhm.
in very specific ways. Showing a sacrifice is highly regarded, is a very noble act, and partaking in things that you don't like, in the disgusting things people wouldn't actually want to eat or taste or things like that. Those are the things that they sort of like, it's like a daily ritual for them.
Sure.
Which is completely opposite from me in like real life, because I am the pickiest person in the world, and I will not try anything if it looks like I don't want to eat it. So, um, but uh, Quinn is penitent about power. Uh, Quinn has unfortunately brought himself and by extension his order great shame at a moment when he was speaking, or he was giving sort of like, not like a sermon, but more just like reaching out to people and just like talking to them. And when they arrived, he sort of misspoke, and some weird stuff started happening, and he kind of feels like a lot of it's his fault.
Okay.
Not only that he misspoke, but he was like distracting people at this like really important time.
So what was the name of the place where your order was kind of centered around, that you were charged to protect and deliver the speech in? Do you
So I
have that
can
on
make
your
this
sheet?
up.
No. So I know it. I was just about to trick you and surprise you that you're about to go there.
I don't see it. Where is
Okay.
it?
It's called Grip Station.
Grip Station.
So Grip Station is basically where these Vermissian sages had kind of set up a headquarters in, and that's where their libraries were. That's where they're doing their work. And you'd made a mistake, and these bloated creatures had shown up, and you let them in, and they started flooding the region. And you have been a penitent, traveling, trying to make up for it. And when Sister Ariel says that you need to go to Stepwell to get this rune to protect the Temple of the Moon beneath, that the fastest way there is to go through Grip Station. But between the Temple of the Moon beneath and Grip Station is the first delve we'll go through. There's an established passageway. It used to be a safe path until Quinn, that it's been taken over, or that some Death's Head cultists have basically kind of set up shop there, and it has become a little bit dangerous to travel. But that's the fastest way south. So Quinn, as you're leading your group, your allies from the Temple of the Moon beneath, you're leaving the safety of that holy place behind you, and you're entering a cavern, a tunnel that gets smaller and smaller, and it gets rougher hewn, and you begin to see what looks like almost a mine shaft and a kind of a light rail cart on the bottom. What are you warning them about that might be up ahead that they need to keep an eye out for?
Death's Head cultists.
Okay. Do you want to describe them at all, or do you want me to? Or
Death's Head cultists, to me, I picture like have you ever played Quaxel Quedlinburg? They're sort of like a Death's Head moths. Well, basically, it's like a skull. Like they wear skulls on their heads.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So Quinn's is telling all three of you about how to get to Grip Station, which will take you to the Stepwell. You're going to have to go through this area, this old mining establishment, abandoned mine area, that apparently has been taken over by these skull-wearing cultists.
I do have a quick question,
Sure.
if that's okay. We talked about minor beats before the show. Are we going to still establish those later?
Sure. I mean, you can certainly tell me about them now if you want. What were your minor beats?
Well, I had a lot to choose from. I chose make penance at a site that is important to your order. So that's
Okay.
something that Quinn has to do.
Okay. Grip station would be appropriate for that.
Great.
Does anybody else have a minor beat that they want to share now, or do you want to hold on to it and reveal it later?
Is there a disadvantage for revealing it? I mean, we're all working
No.
together, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, this is an RPG. Like, we don't need to game it. We don't. The only reason that you might hide it is because you haven't decided on it yet, or because you feel it might be dramatic to reveal it a little bit later. But until you reveal it, I can't push you towards it, I guess is what I would say.
Yeah, but think of the drama of revealing it later.
Ooh.
So
I think I can reveal my minor beat.
Okay.
My curiosity leads me into danger.
Okay, and you are Vasail the witch, correct?
Yes, correct.
So what was your minor beat exactly?
Let your curiosity lead you into danger.
Okay.
Bonsai, I love your whole outfit. Like,
Thank
all of it.
Yeah, you look great.
So remember that your minor beats that you select are things that you want to see happen to your character. That's how you're going to get XP, basically. So, Bonsai, whenever you see an opportunity for your curiosity to lead you into danger, you go right ahead and take it and say, hey, I think this is kind of, hitting my minor beat, and we can mark that off. So Quinn has been telling the three of you about these cultists ahead in this mine shaft who wear skulls and are dangerous. Is there anything that the three of you want to do to prepare or face this challenge head on?
Sorry to interrupt again. I'm sorry. How do we all know each other, actually?
Sure.
Oh, is that
no? We can have a moment where we have a flashback of Quinn's is telling you about these death's heads, and the camera kind of pans back around on the group, and maybe we have the flashback to how all of you met together. You've clearly been traveling together for a little while. If you escaped from Deves to the Temple of the Moon Beneath, does anybody have an idea of how you might have known each other previously?
We went to college together. We're all college roommates.
Well, this might be a good time to talk about each of you should have a calling. This is why you're in the heart. So some of you are here to practice your religion. Some of you are here because maybe you racked up too many debts in the city above. Some of you are here to make penance for a thing that you messed up. Is there any connection there that any of you might want to draw?
I could do one with one of us like being friends earlier. I guess it'll kind of tied in with the midwife aspect of my object. Mm-hmm. So I guess whoever wants to take this as my buddy, because I'm not going to call anybody out. Like, you just tell me which one wants to be my second on this. A older sister of theirs was one of my patients, and we witnessed her giving birth to a creature of not of this world.
I'll take that. That could be my older sister.
All right.
Okay.
And your reaction to this is to essentially destroy the unearthly creature that came out of your sister's womb and try to hide it away as soon as possible and just get rid of it.
From her as well, or just from everyone else?
From her as well, because it was just such an ordeal.
So the two of you are the only ones who know that your sister gave birth to an unnatural monster.
Yes.
Okay. That's quite the secret the two of you carry.
Yeah, that's a bond.
It's a bond.
So how do the rest of you know each other? How do you work together? Or, have you just been companions of fate at this point?
Well, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jordan. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I was going to say, I'm a heretic, and I am filled with the love of the glory of the goddess of the moon beneath. So that's why I was at this temple. I say heretic. People call me a heretic, but I think that all great, unorthodox thinkers are called heretics. And I think that we should ask, who benefits from my beliefs being seen as heretical? Truly, I just want everyone to unlock their true potential. And for a commitment of less than half of your annual income, I can teach you certain proven techniques that will allow you to unlock your potential. Why we look at the moon and we ask ourselves, why does it glow? And in truth, the moon does not glow from it's her own light. It reflects the light of another celestial body living in its radiant truth. So I have these techniques I can teach you to unlock your true potential. Why do they call me tenacity? Because I will never stop until you believe in yourself.
That's beautiful.
I'm suddenly possessed with an image that all of you are Tenacity's clients / congregation.
Well, I don't know about that. So wait,
I don't know about that.
Tenacity, I'm sorry, you're looking for the the queen of the moon?
The moon goddess. I know one of her secret names.
Oh, okay. Well, because I'm looking for the drowned queen, the true source of power, who lives underneath the water, and she has been whispering to me since I was a small child, and imbuing me with more information. I call you a heretic because you worship a false goddess.
Yeah, we're going to
disagree. True goddess.
There. We're going to disagree on the
respectfully.
Which right? Yes.
I think Quinn would definitely be in sort of like admiration of Enith. If Quinn had to like pick one person to look up to, it would definitely be Enith, because a heretic is probably like his like least favorite thing in like the world. It just represents what he could become if he like really messes up or doesn't complete his goal in this mission. But Enith looks like somebody who's driven, who has like a goal and is like devout.
Yeah, is that me? Mm-hmm. Enith?
Sorry,
I say or Yenith?
You can. Sorry, how do you pronounce it? How is it pronounced?
Oh no. I just started calling her Yenith because it looks like Yennefer.
Yenith.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, Tanasi, that you're trying to get us to get onto your 12-step program to enlightenment. But I'm not buying, and you can be tenacious, but I think that we're both in search of knowledge, a deeper truth, so that I can show you the true way and get you out of being a heretic and in service of the true queen, the drowned queen. I think that's we have a respectful kind of
frenemies.
It's a test of
The drowned queen has definitely been whispering very loudly to you of late, Yenith. The appearance of these creatures vomiting and oozing seawater all around you cannot be a coincidence, clearly.
Yes.
So what if just we have two groups? We have a personal connection between the heretic and the witch, or the heretic and the witch, and we have another personal connection between the Vermissian knight and the junk mage. And both groups were tasked with Sister Ariel to go do this because neither were strong enough to do it on their own.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. Great. So let's get into this first delve. You have an abandoned mining settlement to get through. Quinn, you know that this is the fastest, safest path between Grip Station and the Temple of the Moon Beneath. You just have to get past the Death's Head's cultists. Do you have an idea on how you want to do that? Like, what would Quinn's route be? Do you want to go to the middle and be safe and secure? Do you want to take a stealthy route, or what's your approach?
I would say Quinn is very headstrong, very confident in his own abilities. When he took up the shield, he did so with the knowledge that maybe he wasn't as technologically savvy as the other cultists in his order, but he knew that he was like pretty tough in a fight. So I think he is pretty confident that he can just wave his hand or, speak, uh, or, like flash what he's like doing or, like where he's from. And that will just like part the cultists and just like intimidate them into getting out
So
of the way.
your image, you are a large hulking gnoll wearing this mechanical armor that almost looks like maybe a cross between a steam engine or like with maybe a demon inside of it or something like that. And like, is that how you imagine yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Yeah, so you are basically a gnoll wearing power armor, and you are pretty confident that if you say get out of my way, they'll get out of your way.
Yeah, and then like Death's Head cultists, while savage, they can be reasoned with.
Okay, sure. So you kind of leading this group, probably the glow of your kind of daemon engine kind of, on your back that you carry around with you everywhere. This kind of infernal coals illuminating the passage behind you. You see this passageway opening up into a very rough-hewn, like imagine a quarry just kind of cut out of a cavern. And in the middle of it, there's this large shaft that goes straight into the ground, and there's a bunch of old mining shacks. Imagine very gold rushy kind of thing kind of spread around the lip of this shaft that goes deeper in. And you see this like pile of equipment, riches, something by the edge of the shaft near some sort of altar, and you can see a handful of figures moving around the mine shaft. And you stop at the front, and you see that there's actually two Death's Head cultists that are walking away from the opening of your kind of entrance, seeming around kind of the curve of this quarry. What would you like to do?
I actually want to consult with Yinith about what to do next instead of just making my own decision.
Okay.
And I'll just come over to Yinith and just like present the situation as Quinn sees it, and try to get Yinith's thoughts before I decide what to do next.
So how many occultists are there?
So you look over and you see, it looks like there's two cultists, you can presume. They seem constantly surrounded by little flittering moths or butterflies of some kind. It's a little hard to see from here. But you can see that they are wearing largely rags, but they have some skull helmet on top of their head. And every now and then you see a little flash of some metal or gold around their faces, but it's hard to see from here. But there's two of them.
And they're armed?
It looks like it, yep. They all have, or both of them have like a large wicked knife of some kind on their waist.
Okay. And these, okay, so I'm trying to figure out, and they're preventing us from moving forward in our path, right?
Not necessarily. Like they are a thing that you can overcome. You can try to sneak around them if you want. You could try to talk to them and reason with them. When you look at them closer, actually, you see that at least one of them, you can't tell with the other, but one of them has a very large pistol type thing at its waist as well. But you could talk to them. You could try to sneak by. You could try to just straight up kill them. It's entirely up to you. You do know that to get to the shaft, you'll have to deal with them in some way, whether you want to attack them or lure them away or whatever else.
So this is not dramatic as much as I want it to be, but one of my minor beats is to dissect something or interrogate someone that can shed light on your task.
Okay.
So I want to figure out what are they doing there, and so I want to interrogate them through with prejudice.
Okay, so that means that you'll need to capture them in some form. It sounds like.
Yes. Or like, get them to do it.
You might also be able to get some information out of them.
Yeah, because you're a big honkin'. No, right?
You're a big old honker.
Can you just like, I don't know, grab them, shake them around a bit? Can't we
Rattle them, slam them together.
Sure.
You know, I'm glad you said that because that was my initial idea. And I'm glad to have a little bit of like backup.
Great. You rattle them together like two old tin cans full of rocks, and I'll interrogate them.
So are the two of you going to tell your other companions the plan?
I guess. Oh no, do you not want to?
Well,
Just
let's
go
see.
Up and do...
It seems like they're just not in earshot. They're just not paying attention. They're not listening. And if that's the case, then why would I?
Sure.
If they're not like, if they're not doing enough to pay attention to when clearly Yenith and I are in a situation of like planning, then Quinn's going to be like, whatever. Like they don't need to know what's happening. And if they see something, just like keep your eyes open, like you were told to do, and everything will be fine.
They're like looking at a cart full of like street meats and stuff like that, and we're like over here like.
So I just realized what my
can't do anything on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yourself before you have to save yourself before you can save others.
I just realized what Quinn is in my mind, and it's basically Reinhardt with a hyena head.
Oh,
yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Well,
so
voice, which is so cute.
So Quinn, you kind of power up your engine. What does it look like? Are you just going to run straight forward to these guys, try to overpower them?
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Oh, okay.
First, Quinn will intimidate them by like walking straight up to them as if he's like not afraid whatsoever. And as soon as they acknowledge him, he'll intimidate them somehow. It's going to play it by ear.
Okay, great. So you
are you growling? Do you like howl at them? Do you snarl? Are you like?
Do you laugh at them like a hyena?
Yeah, yeah. Hyena laughs are so creepy.
Oh man, especially if there's like a silhouette of Quinn, so that they can't see what's doing what until he like comes into like view or something like that. Sure. Absolutely.
Great. So you step forward. Now, an important thing to note too is that Heart doesn't really have initiative, and it's a lot like a Powered by the Apocalypse game where I'm not rolling a lot. I am just inflicting things on you based on how you roll. Okay. So it's important to note that like for Tenacity and for Lynn, if either of you want to step in, absolutely.
Yeah, guys, do you want to step in? You want to?
Wow.
Very brash. You just going in. You just going in and rattling the doorman. That's what
Kenneth and Quinn seem real antagonistic here.
Yeah.
No, we're just I just feel like they're I'm whispering to my dear friend Lind, and it's just like what is with these people? I really think they're insecure in some way that they don't realize that they don't maybe realize to themselves. One of my minor beats is to rescue someone from peril, but I'll add the caveat whether they know it or not.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. So Quinn, you walk forward. You don't engage whatever blast back thing that you have that Reinhardt has. You walk forward. You are silhouetted against.
What does that do? Is that the etheric field thing?
Sure. You have abilities that we can kind of describe how you'd like.
Okay, because you were describing it, and I was like, that might be like the backpack that you're talking about might be my armor.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So
you have this Vermisian plate, basically.
Yeah. Okay, got it. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand like the intention behind activating it. Does it take time to do that? Enough time that like I would want to do it before battle instead of during?
No, so I was more just asking like from a descriptive standpoint.
Okay, got it.
So, and if you have a perfect image in your mind that you want to do this, you're absolutely welcome to do so. But, like I see you as this large hulking kind of gnoll in this mechanical armor with this burning furnace on your back. That's your Vermisian plate. And you peer your head around out of this corridor coming into this quarry cavern where the cultists are. And you look over and you see those two cultists back, and you kind of turn back and you whisper lightly to Yeneth, about what you should do. And Yeneth has that look in her eye that you have come to know that she wants to talk to them.
Talk to
Wink.
them.
Wonk.
Quinn knows how death cultists operate. So Quinn's going to walk out into the open.
Great.
And as he does that, he's going to make a sort of like a something between like a snarl and a cackle.
Okay.
While he's out of view, just to
Knackle.
get their attention, just to get them looking when he walks in.
Okay.
And then
Great.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, so then why don't we do our first roll? So this sounds to me like you're trying to intimidate them. You're trying to kind of put them off. So this sounds like compel as a skill.
Oh, yeah.
Plus occult as a domain because they're cultists. So when you attempt to do something in heart, you roll 1 die, 1d10. If you have a skill in a domain that applies, each one of those allows you to add another d10. So do you have either compel or occult?
I don't know. If I'm looking at my character sheet, I have delve and occult and a technology.
Correct.
So I can use occult.
Correct. So you will have 2d10. So
Great.
You are not particularly intimidating as a person, but you do know, you're familiar with kind of the occult, you're familiar with cults, so you kind of know how to push their buttons. So you step forward and you get their attention with your kind of growling, cackling, hyena-like laughter. And why don't you roll 2d10 and tell me what your highest result is?
Got it. I got a 4 is the highest.
Great. 4 is failure, and you take stress. Okay. So, let's see.
If it's okay, I want the failure to be something that like is outside of my control. Like like maybe Quinn feels like he did a great job.
Sure. Do you have an idea of what that would look like?
Like maybe the death cultists like know something or have seen something, or they react to laughter in a way that I wasn't expecting. Something like that.
Sure. So why don't you take 4 mind stress? Okay. And we'll, you can kind of describe that you want, but maybe that's a little bit of doubt creeping into Quinn's mind. Maybe Quinn is not as intimidating as Quinn thought he was. So you kind of step up and cackle with laughter as these cultists kind of turn around, a little surprised, but you see that they kind of immediately cackle with laughter, and you see the moths around them kind of flittering and getting agitated, and you see that they're all death's head moths as well. And you can see that their mouths are full of gold teeth, but not properly set gold teeth, like clearly mismatched teeth that were taken from someone else and just stuck in their mouth and their jaw where it needed to fit. And there's kind of a wild-eyed look as they start to cackle right back at you and start to pull weapons. And one of them just kind of pulls a gun laughing at you, and the other leaps at you with a knife. What would you like to do? Or what would anybody like to do? Any of you can jump in at any point.
I mean, I guess since it's obvious that our very large knoll person didn't quite, I guess they're going for intimidation and asking questions. I'll go ahead and kind of do like a loud, discerning voice, like who dares attack this creature that is my, who dares attack?
Okay. So you're going to try to intimidate again as well?
Yes.
I draw my pistol and then go with her to sort of back up her intimidation.
Sure. If you want to share in the stress, you can give her an extra die to roll.
Yes, I'll do that. I believe in you. I know how intimidating you can be when you believe in yourself.
When you believe in yourself and there's someone with a gun next to you.
Yeah, when there's someone with a gun next to you.
It's okay to rely on your friends.
Yeah. I'll just take the knife and just kind of flourish it about, and with a nice kind of smile, no, we just got questions to ask. We just need to pass through.
Okay.
No.
Great.
I have a wolfhound.
Okay.
And I'm wondering about how do I use this wolfhound because I feel like that I could really use like as kind of a way of being like, listen, you're overpowered. I've got one friend, they've got a knife, another friend with a gun, and then I've got another hyena friend, and then this wolfhound is real, quote unquote, scrappy. I call him Scrappy Doo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so if you look, it says a scrappy wolfhound, and then in the parentheses it says delve d6.
Uh-huh.
So what it means is that when you are taking a delve action, when you're rolling the delve skill, you will deal d6 stress on anybody you're trying to deal with. So the wolfhound helps you kind of navigate through things. You can certainly use them as just an attack dog if you want to shoot them off. That's entirely feasible as well. Do you want to tell your dog to sick these two cultists?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to be okay, though, right? Like, Scrappy Doo's going to be all right, right?
I mean, would I do anything to Scrappy Doo?
I don't know. I don't know, actually, now that I think about it. I just want Scrappy Doo to be okay.
What is your command? Like, how do you command Scrappy Doo to attack? Do you just point? Do you say something?
Yeah, I just do, like, a series of, like, wacha, and then Scrappy Doo just, like...
So you like strike a JoJo pose, snap your fingers a couple times, and you point, and the dog knows who to go after.
Yes,
great,
exactly.
Very
JoJo
Great. So why don't we start with the dog, because I think that you're probably right there next to Quinn. So if you want the dog to just straight up attack somebody, that would be kill plus a cult.
Oh.
Okay.
So you get 1d10. And then you check to see if you have the kill skill. You don't.
Oh,
so then you check to see if you have the occult domain. You do.
I do.
So you're going to get 2d10.
Am I trying to decide about which one is higher or lower? Or just two together?
You're going to roll both of them, and you are going to tell me which one is higher.
Great. I'm sorry. I got really excited for that. That is a 6.
6? Great. So a 6 means that you succeed.
Hey!
But you do take stress. Okay? You need to get an 8 or higher if you want to succeed and not take any stress.
I mean, I am stressed about what happens to Scrappy Doo. That's for sure.
Then it sounds like some mind stress to me.
Oh.
So why don't you take 4 mind stress?
Oh, wow. I don't really like Scrappy Doo that much.
I apologize. I forgot to check to see for fallout. So you just took 4 stress. I'm going to roll this d12. As your stress kind of builds up, it's basically like you're charging your batteries for things to go wrong. Every time you take stress, I'm going to roll a d12. If it's equal to or less than the stress, your total stress, then you have fallout and something bad actually happens. Until then, you just have a bigger and bitter sword of Damocles over your head. Okay. So I'm going to roll a d12. As long as I don't get a 4 or less, you're fine.
Okay.
Guess what I got?
0.
I got a 4.
Great.
Oh, nice.
Great.
First encounter.
Oh no.
So you kind of snap. You do your pose. You send your wolfhound, your favorite Scrappy Doo, and they tackle this one of these cultists. But as they kind of go down in a heap of dust and rocks and clouds and stuff like that, I think that you're worried about Scrappy. Like so they go down in this cloud and you hear a loud gunshot go off.
No, Scrappy
You don't know.
Doo.
Yeah, you don't know what happened. So I'm going to say that you are shaken.
I'm shook.
So you suddenly freeze, and you can't do anything until someone kind of shakes you out of it. You are suddenly terrified that Scrappy may have just been hurt.
Oh, not Scrappy Dappy Doo.
The silver lining here is because you took mind fallout. That's minor fallout you took, and you get to clear all of your mind stress.
Oh, okay. So I'm back down.
So when fallout happens, it kind of wipes you. or wipes away the stress.
Scrappy, dude, better be okay, or else I'm losing. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna go full
Wow.
Scarlet Witch on you guys.
So
Well, maybe you shouldn't have thrown them right into the middle of combat then, huh?
Oh, okay. We're not no judgment. Just playing a game.
so Quinn, I'm gonna say Quinn would probably be like stunned that like these death cultists don't appreciate what he's trying to do.
Sure.
When the hound like pounces, he looks over to Enith to see like, was this on purpose? Is Enith okay? And sorry, Yenith. And then Yenith looking like shaken like that. Quinn is just like, nah, no, of course not. What? That's not real. That's not what's actually happening. Clearly in denial. Quinn just like turns back around and just runs at the death cultists.
Okay.
All right,
you're
so
gonna
there's
try to-
just still attacking, I guess.
Yeah. So we're gonna do the
Retcon.
witch's action now.
Yeah.
And then so like Quinn, as you're turning around and seeing what's happening to Yenith, that's when from the other side of you steps Lind the witch, kind of brandishing her mother's second best knife, with her spiritual advisor behind her with his gun out. So
And we do like a good pose. Like we've done.
Yeah, we
this
do
before.
a pose.
We
Like
do
there's
good,
like a
we're very
fog
much
that
like, you
comes
know.
in, that rolls in, and
Yeah.
we have it locked down. Then
Oh,
we come
boy.
in and we're like,
good to know that image is everything in heart. Yes.
Yeah, we can really strike a
back a
pose.
pose.
So Lind, if you are attempting to scare them, then
Yeah.
that sounds like a compel action.
Yes, I have that.
So this would be compel plus occult.
Yes, I have both.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to roll
Nice.
3 dice. Plus, your spiritual advisor is also helping you.
Oh,
so
so I
that's
get
an additional die. But both of you will suffer the
consequences.
the fall or the stress from this.
Oh
So you're
God,
gonna
are
roll
we
4
Jesse and
dice.
James? We're Jesse and James.
I think you are. You
We're the-
have made a remarkably non-well-adjusted group of people, I have to say.
Yeah, we're a
Yeah.
ragtag team.
That's right.
Suicide, a squad of. Yeah,
Oh, God.
I think
Alright.
you use team very loosely.
more of a
Very
squad.
Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They started it. We're just gonna clean up their mess because you know
So-
we're more
So
professional.
roll your 4d10.
All right,
Pick the highest.
Or a D10.
7.
7?
Yes.
Okay,
Darn it.
7 means that you succeed, but you take some stress.
Okay.
So let's see what kind of stress I might want to inflict upon you.
Oh jeez.
I'm trying to think about what would, in this circumstances, would really.
So maybe Quinn doesn't like charge at them. Maybe hearing Lind and seeing the effect that Lind is having, he'll just like march forward instead.
You're like
So-
already there though. You're like we're
Um,
past the point of that. You're like
Well,
in their face.
I mean, there's got to be some distance between us.
I have a question, Derek, for you. I have something called a crucible.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be like it is equal or under your echo stress. I clear that stress. Like basically I can just clear my stress at any point. That's my like ability.
Or it can clear your echo stress.
Okay, so this is not echo stress.
Not yet. I was thinking about doing it to you, so I might do that to give you a chance to mess with it. But echo stress is basically like the kind of corruption of the realm itself, of the heart on you. You know, it might warp your body, it might warp your mind. So I think that's actually what I will do is just to allow you to kind of play with that. I'm going to give both of you echo stress. So remember that fog that you said was around you? That wasn't intentional. That was a vent, like a you know, there are hazardous gases kind of all around and all through the heart. So you, it was a very cool comic pose of you with the mist hiding gun, you with the knife, and the death cultists or the death's head cultists rethink their plan perhaps. But unbeknownst to anybody else, both of you will suffer 3 echo stress.
Ooh.
And Lind, you have 1 echo protection, so you only suffer 2 echo stress.
Okay.
And neither
It was really
of you-
cool. Everybody thought it was really cool. You guys
Totally-
looked really awesome.
Totally worth it.
It was totally worth it.
Neither of you suffer fallout, but you have breathed this in, and kind of out of the corner of your eye, Lind, you maybe won't let this on, but you know this is going to have some sort of effect eventually on you.
Oh my God.
Like, your skin may change, your eyes may change, your fingernails may grow into something else. Maybe a new eye will open up somewhere on your body somewhere, something like that. The heart is not generous.
Like a little Uzi Vert, like you might just grow a diamond in the middle of your forehead.
So what happened was is Quinn went forward and was like, and the Death's Head cultists turned around, smiled their mismatched golden teeth grins, and advanced on him when his companion sent her wolfhound in. And a great shot was heard. She was shook. She didn't know what happened to her beloved pet. While the witch and the heretic standing behind Quinn, the one remaining Death's Head cultist kind of looks at them, kind of unconsciously takes a step back, and sees their companion kind of still tussling and wrestling with this wolfhound on the ground. Clearly rethinks their plan, and they keep their large pistol as well, kind of in their pocket, and they just kind of smile this large, toothy, golden grin, and just say, "Well, a good hunt to you too, travelers. What could I do for you?" And in the background, you can literally see like his friend trying to fight and getting mauled by this wolfhound. "What brings you to this corner?"
We have no business to conduct with you. Step aside.
Wait, how do you know that though? Wait a second.
Oh, hey, feel free to yell at Quinn after this.
Yes. Goodbye. And then like he slowly like backs away. Yes, good. It was such fine times together. Hope we never meet again. And he will attempt to scramble off.
Okay.
Wait, you didn't know.
Don't have to deal with those guys.
We were supposed to interrogate this dude.
What? No.
So I think that
crazy.
you still have one that is wrestling with your wolfhound.
We just need to get
okay.
past these guys and just get to the next part. We're going
So
to
the other one just scattled off without his other partner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So if the 4 of you want to pull your wolfhound off,
I do, but I'm frozen though, right? Like I'm shook.
I figure that Quinn can. Quinn basically kind of like, "Hey, don't worry, I got rid of one of them," and you're like, "But my wolfhound." So that will, that shakes you out of your freeze.
I'll say this loudly to Tenacity is like, I really just wonder what the whole idea is, just to punch our way through everything of some sort.
Yeah.
Like, did you have a plan? And I was like, maybe I'll even like snap. Her name's not Yennefer.
We can just make the name Yennefer. That's going to be
easier as Yennefer. I'll just
Still
be like, kind of like, because you can kind of tell that I've been in enough situations as a, I guess, nurse.
Yes. I gotta go to Scrappy Doo. What is happening with Scrappy Doo? Scrappy Doo? Yeah,
I'll just kind of try to get her snapping out of whatever trance she's in.
You probably have smelling salts or something like that on you that you can kind of crack to bring her to her senses. I
yelled, obviously loudly, sarcastically, is like, like they're not there. Like, I wonder what their plans was. Seems.
We still have one guy though. We still have one guy that's underneath Scrappy Doo.
Sure,
so
but your dog, it's your dog. So I'm gonna try to I'm not going to try to touch your dog. It's your dog.
That's
I love how
you always ask the owner before you try to touch the dog.
Yeah, you got to ask the owner.
I love how both group wants to succeed, but they don't want to help the other group succeed.
Okay, I've snapped out of it. I'm going to this guy who's underneath my dog. My dog is fine. Yes, there was just a shot that rang out.
You pull Scrappy away.
You're like, he's so friendly. Really, he's really friendly.
And I just take like 1 second, Quinn, just like 1 second to say to Yeneth, if there's one thing I know about death cultists, and I know a lot about death head cultists, they can't be trusted. Anyway, please continue.
Okay.
Wait, what? You just yelled at one and one just ran away.
What about that contradicts anything I've said?
So
I don't know what it adds to the
You don't talk to them.
You pull your Scrappy dog off of this one. And
careful.
you see that you pat the dog down. It's got a little, it's got some cuts on it, but nothing major. It looks like the bullet missed it, and they were just fighting with knives. The Death's Head cultist also seems worse for the wear.
Okay, great.
You know,
did one of the teeth fall out? I want one of those teeth. Give me one of those teeth, and then we'll be on our way.
So it doesn't look like any of the teeth fell out.
Right, wow.
But as you pull the dog back, he quickly kind of scrambles to his feet and just like grasping for his gun and his knife. It looks like the gun is just a one-shot, but he grabs it with one hand. He's got the knife in the other hand, and he's just kind of like in a fight pose, and then sees you, and he says, yes, traveler. Well met and good hunt. What can I do for you?
What is this hunts? What are you talking about, hunts? What is that? Tell me about it, or else I'm going to take
all your teeth out. Have you never hunted beneath the moon, beneath our feet? The great hunt, everything you do is in pursuit of the stuff.
The stuff? What is the stuff?
It is the money. It is the gold. It is the teeth. Do you have them? The teeth?
I don't have teeth. No teeth. So you're hunting right now, my dude?
We are always hunting.
All right.
The best hunts to you.
Somebody beat up this guy. I'm
my
done
God,
talking.
What kind of civilization do we live in if we can't have a civilized conversation? And then is somebody just going to attack this guy and knock him out, I take it?
I'm tired of the games.
Wow. One NPC wants to talk to you, and all of you are just like, this is over. This is over.
No, okay, so Quinn is like completely against talking to Death's Head cultists, and the fact that Yeneth is even like considering having a conversation with this freak, that like Quinn is just like shaking his head but letting it happen, and is just like completely staying out of it, waiting for it to be over.
Great. So are you just going to attack one? You could try to kill him. You could try to knock him out. You want to just walk away?
I want to walk past, but I mean, Yeneth is busy. I'm not going to leave Yeneth. So
I'm just shaking this dude. I'm trying to get some teeth to rattle out of this guy. He's just talking about the hunt, and you're talking about teeth, and you're talking about money. Do we need money? Do you have money? Do you have money on you?
I have a feeling that a lot of this is just kind of happening off screen as the camera pans away, and we just see like these word bubbles like come up from off screen. And it is very clear that none of this actually pleases Yeneth. It is incredibly frustrating to deal with this unfortunate guy. So do you just want to like beat him up and take some of his teeth, basically?
Yes,
Great.
That's what I want.
Okay, you have 2 gold teeth.
Yeah, great. I put them in a sack.
One is very kind of like almost an elf and something like that, and one it looks like to be a large rear molar of a gnoll, and they're solid gold as far as you can tell.
Large molar.
So you have a broken and beaten body. Is this guy still alive?
Barely.
Okay. You can kind of see him gurgling on his own blood, and you're pretty sure, Yeneth, that in the background there somehow, in the gurgles of the blood in the back of his throat, you almost can hear like the waves of the sea coming in.
That's very interesting. I'm thinking that this cultist is tied somehow to the drowned queen.
They're here.
I want to give you 1 echo stress, by the way.
Why? Why would you do that to me, sir? Why?
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
I mean, I guess I just like
I'll
during
take it.
this altercation, I turned to Tenacity as like, do we proceed with them, I guess, or we wait this out? I don't understand what this has to do with our mission.
I mean, neither. I'm really, we tried to back him up, and then they just let one of them go, and then rip the teeth out of the other one. So I think we just let them take the lead here.
Okay.
Okay. So you do know that you still have to go through this mine shaft.
Yep.
Let's go.
And as you kind of look over to the mine shaft, you see the one that you let go, kind of running towards the settlement, and kind of like waving his arms and stuff like that.
That sounds bad.
Yeah.
And it seems like some other figures are beginning to stir in the settlement.
Well, y'all just let him go.
Through them?
Y'all,
oh my gosh.
Y'all just let. I'm trying to shake the shit out of this. Y'all let him go. Chase this man.
Why don't we?
Supporting you. We were supporting you. We saw you act on your intentions, and we wanted to just validate that and help you.
I need you guys to support me with violence. I need you to. That's what I need.
Well, thank you for asking. That's an important step. Is you have to be willing to commit to what you need. So now that we know that, now that we've opened the dialogue,
yes.
we'll help you with violence. We can do violence. We're very,
All right.
I see you like reloading. There's like a Rambo sequence where you're just we'll help you with violence now.
All right,
I thought you'd never asked.
I guess does this mine shaft have like gears that we go down in, or is it?
You haven't even gotten close enough to see in it. You see hanging over it. There are some kind of wooden constructions that seem to have like platforms that they can lower. It looks like there might be a stairway of some kind that goes down it. There's some way to traverse in there, you're sure. Okay. It's just complicated now by the fact that it seems like half a dozen or so cultists are now scurrying around the building.
You guys, we got to mess these dudes up. Like, we got to go. We got to get in there.
Hold on.
Can we get to the shaft before they get
to us? I
think my initial game plan just sort of got lost somehow here. So let me re-clarify.
Your game plan was to ignore them.
No. So let's all just take a second here. I don't want to talk to these guys. I don't want to fight these guys. I don't want to interact with them if we can help it. I want to get through them. Okay. So it's like, who cares if one gets away? Who cares?
So you want to sneak past like a dozen.
Sneak doesn't even like come into like my radar. If we have to, if that becomes an option, sure. But like, if we can scare them out of the way, like we don't have to like.
But you tried to scare them, and you had a squeaky hyena laugh, and they.
What are you talking about? I did great. It was perfect. My plan worked perfectly.
That's not how
thanks
the plan
to you
went.
and thanks to your help, I think we accomplished the mission, and we can just keep going now.
Okay, so this is the thing though. I've got two people in the back. I've got one guy who is offering me spiritual advice. I have another person over here who is like, I don't know what's happening with these people, but I just want to do cool poses through toxic smoke. And then I have another person over here who is like, I did great despite the fact that I'm pretty sure they open mouth laughed at you.
They were laughing with me.
With him.
Like,
exactly.
You don't.
Okay, no.
Like, okay, so clearly comedy is lost on you.
We need to follow these into the shaft.
I would like to summarize this, that Quinn is suggesting that a bold and direct approach to just blitz into the mine shaft and head down is perhaps the best way to do this. So,
let's do it.
That strikes me as either Delve, which is a skill that covers progressing into dangerous or unknown territory, or perhaps Evade, if any of you are trying to dodge your way through this. And then the domain I think that would apply would either be Occult or Wasteland. Desolate. Occult or Desolate. So Delve plus Occult or Desolate seems to be the most appropriate in my mind. And your Wolfhound has Delve. So you can kind of deploy. You can use your Wolfhound to kind of help you through this.
Yeah, I'm not following Quinn. I'm not putting Scrappy Doo behind Quinn's plans because Quinn.
All right.
I messed up one time. All right.
So Quinn, why don't you let's have you blaze this trail that you hope everyone else will follow.
Yeah, you
Okay.
go
Sounds
first.
like you want to do
Great.
delve plus desolate, maybe, or
Occult.
occult. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say you are just beelining for the shaft,
Yep.
is this where you, descriptively again, not necessarily mechanically, is this where you kind of engage the full power of your Vermissian plate, your mechanical demon-powered plate?
So there's sneaking, right? And then there's like bright lights charging through, right? I
Yep.
want something in the middle where
Sure.
I'm not intentionally drawing attention to myself,
yeah.
but I'm also not like terrified of these people.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you're not serving as a distraction. You're powering
Yes.
yourself up to kind of get underway. So, you probably let out like a belch of this kind of thick, toxic smoke out of these kind
Sure.
of pipes up the top.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a rumble as your suit's engine kind of kicks it up a notch.
Yeah.
And that rumble kind of blurs into a little bit of a growl or a roar as whatever demon is inside is prodded into action. And you propel yourself forward. So why don't you roll delve and occult for me?
Great. And is that 3d10 or 2?
If you have both delve and occult, it would be
I do.
3d10.
A 9 is the highest.
Great. So 9 allows you to succeed and not take any stress. Okay.
Sweet.
So what I would say is you are kind of this unstoppable one-man locomotive, basically.
I'm a bulldozer.
Demon-powered.
Anybody's in my way, I ignore them and I push them out of the way.
Yep.
One
You are a
locomotive.
demon-powered bulldozer, and you just basically run for the mine shaft, for the stairway that you saw down it. And you go straight to the mine shaft, bashing shack and platform and low wall just aside, leaving this very clear wake of destruction in your path. And then you kind of like slow to a halt, kind of chugging to a stop at the lip of this mine shaft. And as you expected, it's got a little stairway down that you could all hurry down if you really wanted to.
Are Vermissian knights like actually trains? Like generally, like legitimately, like have trained like
Sure.
like anatomy? Is that how?
If you want, like, so you are like a mechanical full plate paladin of a train, like a train network. So you
Right.
can lean into that symbolism as much as you want or not.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Okay.
So you kind of stop and you turn your knollish maw around and you can kind of look here and you do see at least a half a dozen death heads kind of climbing and making their way around these shacks, seeming to try to like get close to you or get advantage or something like that. I assume you wave to your allies to come on in, the water's fine kind of thing.
Yeah, but I'm also not gonna like stand here and let the cultists like gang up on me. So
Okay.
if they can't keep up, that's their problem.
It's
Wow.
your
Okay.
problem.
Wow.
You're the one surrounded by a cultist because you
I can't hear you all the
in.
way back there.
So
Dang. Dang.
will everyone
All right.
follow in Quinn's wake?
I guess.
I'm I'm gonna allow Scrappy to sniff around,
Okay.
and allow my wolfhound to do what they do best.
Okay. Great. Like your wolfhound will kind of serve as it will find a path for you. It will serve as a warning as you're kind of running through. So I imagine that, if you roll well, the wolfhound might, bark right before a cultist kind of leaps out at you or something like that.
Yeah, I
So
don't
why
just
don't-
go
why
charging into stuff.
Sure. Well, as all of you follow Quinn, as they kind of head into this, why doesn't everybody give a delve plus occult or desolate roll?
What if you only have one? Do you only roll 2 or
Yep.
one?
So you get one
Okay.
die for attempting something. And then
Okay.
you get one additional die for every skill or domain you have that applies.
Okay. And then, so yeah, I guess
the highest one.
Yep, you're gonna take the highest one.
So all of us need to roll 2, or like,
Yep. I want to see how stressful this is for each of you as you race through it. Because basically, Quinn has given you a path through. You're gonna have to chase it down, and the entire way, the Death's Head cultists and their Death's Head glittering moths and their golden teeth kind of glittering in the shadows as they smile at you. They're scrabbling at you the whole way through. So I want to see how stressful this transition is for you.
I only rolled 1, but I got a 7.
Okay, great. So you succeeded, but you took stress.
I got a 9.
Okay. I am going to give to Tenacity, I'm going to give you 4 blood stress.
Ooh.
Okay.
I mean, there's no way for me to aid him on his way there, unfortunately.
No, not really in this case.
All right.
You're all going to be sharing in stress anyway as you go through this. So that 4 blood stress, it reflects like arms coming out from the shacks and kind of grabbing your clothes, trying to pull you in. You might get some cuts and scrapes here and there, but let's see if there's fallout. There is not any fallout. So there's no like permanent wounds or anything that happen. And you are able to catch up to Quinn. Why don't we go with Lynn next, our witch? What did you do?
So is it like an elevator or we just dive down?
So there's a stairway that goes down, and Quinn basically ran to the stairs, confirmed they were there, and was like, cool, I found some stairs, see you later, losers, and then just headed down the stairs.
Okay.
Kind of like
maybe in different words, maybe in 0 of those words, but yes.
Please, my companions, follow me. I have blazed a brave trail ahead. Do not be afraid of these cultists.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna definitely make sure the other 2 teammates come in at the very least. And if I see somebody having trouble, I will go in with my knife and be like, "Get out!"
Okay, get out. I want your knife to be called "Get out." Get. So why don't you give me a delve plus desolate or occult roll as well?
All right.
And then Yeneth, you also need to make one of those too. I just want to see how special the trip. Okay.
I got an 8.
So great. What did you get, Witch? You got a 4?
Excuse you.
Nope, it didn't work. I did.
Yeah, so you unfortunately
oops.
Get I'm gonna say you get 5 blood stress from this.
Ooh.
How much blood stress do you have total now?
5, right? No?
I don't know if I gave you any before.
No, you didn't. Not that I know of.
Great. That is not enough to trigger fallout. So you are are barely able to scramble through this. And then finally, what did our junk mage get?
8.
Great. So you were able to succeed without any stress either. You were the one who you're used to dealing with Quinn at this point.
I am. I'm
so able to kind of follow Quinn's cues, and you managed to follow close enough to not really have trouble. It's your companions who kind of, maybe look at each other like, what is even and then you try to go follow this route, and you're not able to kind of stay close enough to Quinn to, benefit from him kind of pushing everything aside. So, the cultists kind of scrabble at you. They reach out at you. A knife kind of flashes in the dark as it kind of slashes at you. And the 2 of you are skin of your teeth manage to get through into the bottom of this shaft.
A lot of teeth stuff in this one.
That's the body horror element, right?
Yeah.
I read something about like a breathing wall of meat, and I was like,
too.
okay, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Please no.
Oh, cool.
Like, can we not
Great.
have that?
Delicious.
I really appreciate not having that.
I was just wondering how to transition or how to describe the very next scene.
I'm not afraid to put up the X card. I swear. I swear to God.
Okay. So, how about we just surmise it as Quinn? You have reached the bottom of this mine shaft. You take a moment to breathe. Maybe you even put your hand on the wall.
No. Okay.
You close your eyes and run through, going,
Yep.
No.
Yep. No. So you put your hand out to steady yourself in the wall, and you don't find a breathing wall of meat. Instead, you find that it is clean cut, almost like from a laser or some great magical power. You do notice that the kind of stone of the wall is run through with this clear, like gem-like crystal structure of some kind that seems to bend and reflect light through it. Doesn't glow, but if you kind of shine a light near it, it kind of sparks down it, basically. And you see that below you are these great Vermissian tracks from the old project, and you know that this tunnel will head into Grip Station, so you can lead the party towards the scene of your great shame.
Great.
So you kind of progress towards Grip Station, and as you leave the mine shaft above, as all of you come off the stairs and go into this tunnel, following again that glow of the engine on Quinn's back, there's a long section where the tunnel seems completely dark, except for every now and then a light kind of flickering in one of these gems, unless any of you wants to take out a light source of some kind. And you hear a faint almost like singing or humming tone that kind of varies up and down a little bit, as if someone was hitting like a tuning fork on a couple of different surfaces. But it's coming from above you. It's kind of hard to tell. And as you progress forward, the cavern, in its complete darkness, kind of opens up and widens up into a much, much larger cavern where you can start to see all across the ceiling of this cavern glittering crystalline stalactites. And you're not sure if the lights are flickering or blinking or if the stalactites are actually swaying slightly. You see some scaffolding constructed around some of these stalactites up at the ceiling. And you see beneath you, this passageway has opened up and the ground falls away, and you are on a large kind of iron wrought bridge that has a train rail that runs on it to this almost like fortress in the middle of this cavern. And you can see these other train lines radiating out from it. And you realize that this is Grip Station. You do also see some damage to the rail lines at your feet. Quinn, you would know that if you make too much noise or move too quickly, the stalactites above will resonate with that and then collapse and crush people beneath.
I'm going to stop everybody and point up to the ceiling and then put like a finger to my lips as like a signal to be quiet.
So, originally this was supposed to be a very picturesque train station. The elves decided they would build it, and it would be gorgeous, and you would see these amazing stalactites as you came in, until they realized that was not compatible with the speed at which trains need to move. So, Grip Station lays ahead. Is there anything that you want to tell anybody before you get there? Does the group maybe, want to come to some sort of consensus on a plan or anything like that, maybe?
Do I already know how to get to Stepwell? Or do we need to figure that out somehow?
If you wanted to, you could just try to progress to Stepwell.
Do I already know how to get there?
You could try. You've never been there yourself.
So I don't know. Okay, so Quinn doesn't actually know how to get there.
Well, an important thing to note is that, remember, things in the heart shift. And Grip Station is kind of at the bottom of what's called like tier 1-ish. Okay. And tier 1 is where things are mostly stable. Like the passageway that you just traveled through, that mine shaft area, people don't expect that to change the next time they come through. It's going to be an old abandoned mine. It's going to be a quarry. There might be some other people there, but it's probably going to be the same. When you start going past Grip Station, things start to change unless you keep them stable.
Got it.
So 1 week, you might have a clear path from Grip Station to Stepwell. The next week, it may have completely changed. It may have filled up. It may have transformed into a breathing wall of meat. A variety of things can happen as you go deeper into the heart. The further and deeper you go, the more dramatic the changes are and the faster they happen. So you could navigate to Stepwell,
okay,
but you don't know the way. Does that make sense?
I know where to start, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Correct. Exactly. Great. And that's, to be honest, that's kind of the core, like almost gameplay loop of Heart in a lot of ways. you know these kind of points of light. It has a hex crawl map that you can go on. You can get an edition that has like stickers and stuff like that. So you go to a location, you know this location is safe. You then have to kind of delve and explore further to get to the next safe location where you recover from the journey that you just took.
Okay. So Quinn will try to talk to the rest of the party, but fair warning, Quinn is very insecure about his abilities, and the moment that he thinks somebody is like going to like say something sassy or uncooperative or ignore or just like dismissive, he's just gonna like walk away. He doesn't want to engage with that.
Don't we have somebody in the group that's good at like talking people up, maybe, who can motivate someone who has insecurities? So we have someone who's good at that in the group?
Listen, the moon goddess, the moon beneath, she's here for all of us, and her light is your light. This is the safe place for you to talk about your ideas for a plan. We're all here in the heart, and if you just look inside your heart, then that will you will find truth. And it's okay, just lay your ideas out there. None of us is perfect, but we want to hear. You have some experience with this place, with the trains. I can tell that you're very passionate about trains, and I think if we just set up on the right track, then we will chugga choo choo towards.
Okay.
Towards.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I will say this: we've got stalactites above us. Just move slowly and very carefully, and we should be in the clear as far as Death's Head cultists go. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but like as far as I'm aware, like the hardest part should be behind us. I just have 2 questions, and then like that's all I'm gonna like put forth. How are you all doing? This is my first question. Like, are you physically okay? Do you need any attention? And second of all, like, well, I'll ask the second question afterwards. But like, yeah, just like for now, is everybody good?
I mean, yeah,
for sure. Thank you. That's very
very kind of you.
I feel like as we go further into this, I'm slipping ever closer and closer into utter badness and letting the darkness take hold of me, and the whispering of the drowned witch is growing louder and louder inside of my ears. But other than that, man, I'm doing great. I'm having a great time.
And of course,
Scrappy-Doo is vibing.
Great. Okay.
Can I check to see if anything is a trap? Can I check my surroundings? I know that we don't really have perception.
Sure. Yeah. So you look around.
Discern.
Mm-hmm. So you
I will
look
ask
around.
another question at some point, but go ahead.
Okay. So you look around. Just to get your bearings, just to see if there's any immediate danger. Whether it's a trap or anything else. And what you do see is actually 3 figures walking your way from Grip Station. They're a fair distance away, so you have plenty of time to prepare. They don't seem to be like skulking towards you. One is walking in front. The other 2 are behind, and one of the 2 that is behind is clearly supporting the other one and helping them walk. And it looks like they wouldn't be able to walk on their own.
So it's an old person, so I can take them, is what you're saying.
If you're like to
weak,
it
that's
that way,
very judgmental.
Welcome to Quinn, what is your other question?
And I'm just gonna like ask this to the party. Like, okay, I don't feel like I have a good handle on what our capabilities are. Obviously, you've seen my capabilities in action. I'm just like muscle, right? I pull out my big hammer. You can see I got a hammer. Like that's pretty much what I do, right?
Very
also,
nice.
I'm navigating us through as much as I can. But what about you all? Like, what can I rely on you for?
You can rely on me to listen. Always to listen.
Jesus.
In this context, I also I've got my gun, I've got my knife, I've also got if we have some trouble with the noise here, because of my the knowledge gained from my the glory of the queen of the moon beneath, if I know one of the goddess's secret names, and I can use this name as a weapon that also dampens all noise. So if we go down this path and there's a terrible noise that might affect the stalactites, I will ask you all to close your ears, and then I will whisper the name of the goddess, because you're not ready to know it, but it's very powerful, very powerful. But
that's some information that you need to tell us. You need to we're
That's
in like
very
quiet,
specific.
It's very specific to our current predicament, and we need to know.
Yeah,
the thing is that if he tells you, then it'll hurt, because you'll know the secret name.
I can't tell you the name, but I can use it. This is something that, because I know it, we can all benefit from it.
I mean, I don't believe in this, goddess of the moon like you do, but if you've got some powers, I will support that.
Yeah, just have an open mind, and I will, I can prove to you, you're hurting yourself with your false beliefs.
Oh God.
We're gonna agree to disagree.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right.
So-
I mean, yeah. I guess to quick show, is there's like some kind of obviously because we did the run through, I'm gonna guess that Quinn has some damage or Yennefer, or not Yennefer, gosh darn it, has any damage, like damaged weapons or anything on them?
So minor, but keep in mind that until you suffer fallout, you don't really have kind of like a perfect you don't have a permanent kind of impact. So as long as you're just suffering stress, that's kind of wear and tear, nicks, cuts and scratches and things like that. It's not till it escalates to fallout that things are happen. And so with fallout, it's also worth noting that every time you take stress, I roll to see if you experience fallout. If you are currently at 7 stress or lower when you explode your fallout, then you take minor fallout. If you are at 7 or more, then you take major fallout.
Well, okay. Let me ask this question if I can do that. Basically, show my skill. I'm gonna I still have 5 blood stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could I do this because it says I can do witch spit, which is mend.
Ooh.
I could mend that, right? And just this is what I do, and I just spit on myself and then show them basically I can heal, I guess, is what I kind of understand this as.
Okay, so so what I'm hearing is on the muscle, Yeneth is the rage and has a dog, so that's cool.
I have a dog, and I'm a witch, mage, not witch, but mage. So I have really, it's this whole connection with water. There is something that's going on with the water, and I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
Yeah. So a cult.
All right, and then Lind, you're a healer, and then it sounds like Tenacity, you're just like a big softie who can make the noise go away.
Listen, emotional strength is strength.
Wow, so we have 2 healers. This is great.
I am very amused. I will just say that Tenacity's description of their capabilities is not reflected, or they are not being fully they're not disclosing everything, I think is what I would say. I'm very curious to see how that will finally come out.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so Quinn's just gonna blanket statement say okay, well, I think I know what to do going forward if we get into trouble. I think I have a strategy for a battle plan now.
Okay.
Are you gonna tell us, or are we just gonna see it when it happens?
Have you hung out with Quinn?
I'm the tank. You can do some magic stuff, right? Because you're a witch and you've got a dog, so you don't really have to be too close into the fray. And it looks like I'm just gonna be up in front by myself with this dog fighting things while everybody else just cast stuff from
No. You don't get Scrappy Doo. Scrappy Doo stays with me. Scrappy. So you've charged ahead. We've got 3 figures that are coming at us in the darkness. Have we already cast the spell so that our noise is dampened? Okay, can we do that so that we can get further into this? Because I'd love to be able to explore more of this.
Sure.
Cave with this
So
character.
Tenacity.
Is that will it work in that way? Because it is say like it does, it's kill damage and all that stuff. But
yep. So your ability says you can speak the secret name of the goddess as a weapon that dampens all sound. So if you would like to attack someone with it, yes.
Okay.
What's your name?
So wait, am I attacking the people approaching, or am I attacking?
Oh no,
area so that there won't be noise?
If you ask that out loud, Quinn's just gonna be like, "Oh no, just ignore them." Like if we get
we
involved
can't keep
with them,
ignoring people.
If we get involved with them, then we'll have to deal with them.
Yeah, we can't keep ignoring people.
They're coming closer at this point.
I will hail them.
Sure. So you turn to hail them.
I'm prepared to whisper the name of the goddess, but it's really only in an emergency situation. I'm just saying we can rely on her.
I'm not gonna
if
I scream, does it mean that I'm gonna have if I go hey, is it gonna be like a rock stops on my head? That's probably not what I want to do if that's the case.
You don't know yet, but you can definitely wave quietly.
Yeah, I just wave quietly.
And clearly the level of conversation that the four of you are having is not causing stalactites to fall anywhere.
Okay, good.
Stalactites fall, everyone dies.
You guys are on your own for this one.
So Tenacity, you can immediately tell that these are pilgrims who are either en route to or coming from the Temple of the Moon, the Temple of the Moon beneath. And when you kind of wave your arm, Lind, they like the one in front kind of like waves and then turns around and like motions to the one behind them, and they try to kind of limp closer, and they come closer and you see they look like pilgrims. They're wearing penitent garb. They have the symbol of the moon beneath on them. One of them seems to be suffering from pretty severe injuries. Looks like their leg may be broken or something like that. They're kind of clutching their body. One is holding them. And they kind of look up at the crystals and they look at you and they say, we're traveling to the Temple of the Moon beneath, pilgrims on a journey. The grip station turned us away. They motioned to their ally. They wouldn't let us in. He needs help with his injuries. Do you know any medicine? Could you assist?
Could I assist?
You can certainly try.
I will try. I got my kit.
Yeah, I've got bandages used by a saint, but they're very expensive, so it's only used those.
Need to.
So, Lind,
wait.
Why don't you roll?
You're not going to help your own people? Aren't these your people?
Well, just if there's another, it says what I know about these bandages is that they've been used by a saint and that they're expensive. It says that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, if we have if we have an option that's,
you're saving these for yourself, is what you're saying.
Whoever,
Lind,
whoever may need them, more.
Why don't you give me a mend and religion roll?
All right. Are you sure? Because I can tap into the occult better than mend.
Yeah, I know that. These seem to be tentative believers.
Yeah. Well, I've got mend and religions. Can I try to heal them?
I will go first. No, you're good. No, you can do it if you want to. We're buddies, we can.
You can both help. You just have to risk the stress.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do this together.
I will aid you because you aided me, and I will aid you.
Yeah, we back each other. Okay. So I'm not going to use the bandages used by a saint, but I am going to mend with religion. Can I? Is that? So then I get 3.
It's going to be 3 dice.
Yeah.
Well, 4 because I'm helping.
4.
Yeah, let me just double check because I think you might be capped at 3, but let me confirm.
Okay.
Oh.
Rude.
No, you can do 4. That's fine.
Okay. Yep. All right. Here we go. And I say, by the glory of the goddess of the moon beneath, I will heal you.
Sure.
Reassuring back pat.
Okay. My highest one is a 9.
Okay. Great. So you succeed without any stress. So when you kind of go to look at this pilgrim, and you kind of move up their robes, or you push their robes aside, what kind of injuries do they have? And how does a heretic of the moon, a believer of the moon beneath, treat those wounds?
Well, I believe that, external wounds, whatever may have caused them, there's always a root cause that is, it's a manifestation of doubt. So first I lay my hand on the wound and I say, whatever it is you're worried about, don't worry. If you trust in the moon goddess, your all wounds can be healed. And then I use my first aid kit or whatever I have to, and it's the leg is I can't tell how it's been broken, but or is that something should I ask you how? What can I tell? What can I tell about?
You can also I'm giving you a chance to kind of make up what injury they have. I'm happy to make it up for you instead if you want. But this is just is there a type of injury that you want to be able to heal them to show the beneficence of the goddess beneath?
Gotcha.
Make it gruesome. Make it gross.
Yeah. This is like a compound fracture. Like the shin bone is sticking through the skin.
Yeah.
It's real gnarly. I think probably what happened is that they were walking, en route to the goddess, and then but inside they're just like, am I worthy of this? Did I make the right choice? Should I not have taken off work to do this? Should I instead have been focused on saving money longer? And then that caused them to trip. And there's doubt they tripped.
Sure.
Their foot was stuck in a hole and caused a vicious compound fracture.
It's so funny. I'm sorry, this person's just thinking about, should I have taken time off of work, and then they trip and their bone pops out of their leg. Sorry.
So
the person tries to speak up in the middle of me saying that. They try to interrupt me to say what really happened, but I just say, "Shh, okay, I'm here now."
Yeah, so their eyes are wide as they watch you do this whole thing, and there's definitely like a mix of incredulity because they're like, "Wait, no, that's not how it happened." But you are so earnest in your delivery of this that they're just like, I mean, I guess if I'm going to take it as a metaphor, sure, yeah, and like
that's the mindset.
Their two friends
strong,
are kind of nodding along.
That's strong moon mindset. That's what I teach.
So you dress their wounds. You put your hand on them and you tell them that it's what's inside that really matters, and the moon goddess believes in you. So you should believe in yourself and not trip and die anymore. And you take the bandage off their leg and you see this gnarly bone kind of poking out of the skin. But you're surprised that it's not blood that's kind of pooling up and welling out. It's a clear liquid. It looks just like tears, as if they were crying from their wound.
Exactly.
That's not the clear liquid I thought. Yeah, tears.
Anyway.
Your whole body is capable of crying when you're sensitive enough to the universe.
So you have not magically healed them. They're not cured of their ailment.
I don't accept that.
I mean, they are well on their way. You've set them on the path. They have to help themselves at this point.
It's better.
So you put a splint on it. They're able to walk much better than they were before.
Even better than before they started out on their journey.
Perhaps eventually, at some point, that might be the case. So they all kind of like bow and nod to you. They all kind of want to like touch your hand and thank you for your service.
Wow.
They are pilgrims though. They don't have anything to pay you with. So they hope that you will accept their prayers when they arrive at the temple.
Of course.
They're going to start heading off as Yeneth is ushering them away. As they get out of earshot, it occurs, does any of you want to tell them what they're walking into, either on the way to the temple or at the temple itself?
No, they were brokies. They don't get anything.
Okay.
I want to know what they just came out of, though. They just, they said they were turned away, right? Mm-hmm. Because they didn't have something, or they didn't do something.
They just said they were turned away. That the grip station wouldn't help them. Grip station wouldn't let them into shelter. Okay.
Did they say who wouldn't let them in? Or
so if you kind of stop them and have a conversation, they keep trying to turn their attention back to Tenacity here, and Tenacity's incredible sermon about inner belief and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I keep interrupting them, and I'm just like, Give me what's the deets, Brokies?
Well, they wouldn't let us in. Yes, Tenacity, tell me more. Okay, well, we went to the gate. We asked for sanctuary in Haven, and they turned us away. But eventually, what you're able to determine is that they tried to enter the gates. At the gates, they were turned away and told that only people who were coming to trade or people who were coming on official Vermissian Sage business were going to be let in. Now, it's worth noting, Quinn, Grip Station doesn't have gates, or at least it didn't when you left it. Grip Station was supposed to be open to everyone who was on the rail, basically, who was traveling the realm.
Oh, they're lying to us like I said they would, and we're just being lied to now. Great.
Okay.
I don't know if they're not lying. Everything changes. Everything shifts around. So these are Brokies who are weeping tears out of their wounds, and yes. So these are real gates. These are not metaphorical. These are metaphorical gates. I'm sorry. There were no gates. There are gates now.
Yeah, they they're like we don't know. I mean, there were physical gates and with guards at them, and they would not let us in. We pounded on the gates asking for sanctuary and assistance, and they turned away those in the greatest of needs. And I suspect that Yeneth loses interest at that point. But your attention is picked back up, Yeneth, when they describe that scattered around the gates were rotting corpses that seem to seep water.
Neat. I'm gonna keep that.
Yeah. So when you're like neat, they're like, no, gross. Okay. So they will be very confused by the lot of you, appreciative of Tenacity, perhaps somewhat repulsed by Yeneth.
I feel a little guilty conscious. I would say that I would wait to there are basically cultists that are upset for unknown reasons. And just to beware.
Okay. So you're gonna warn them about the cultists, but not the flooding of the temple.
Oh yeah, that thing is happening too. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
They'll find out in when they're ready.
So Lind, you leave these pilgrims kind of shaken. They're suffering injuries. They're turned away from one safe haven. They know they're walking into a realm filled with vile cultists, and beyond that, their ultimate goal is being drowned away by the very thing that seems to be plaguing Grip Station that they were fleeing from. So they proceed into the heart further, not knowing whether their destination will even be there when they arrive.
Anyway.
Wow. Quinn with the zero empathy.
I mean, that's just why we need to go there faster to...
Sure.
Oh, by the way, did that count as rescuing someone from peril as my active feat? Do I get something for that?
I'm going to say no. You didn't rescue someone from peril. You hid the results of their peril.
Okay, this is a fine hair, but
Don't worry. I have a feeling Quinn will get themselves.
I'll keep trying.
You can rescue them from.
I don't.
So, before you is Grip Station.
All right. Yeah. The first thing I want to say is, go ahead, pat yourselves on the back for doing something nice for some other people and all. But I swear to you, if we keep doing this, first of all, we're never going to get there in time, and second of all, somebody's going to get the drop on us. All right? How do you know they weren't lying about everything that they said?
All right, first of all, don't lecture us, all right? You're not my dad, all right? And we're doing the best we can, all right? We're trying to figure this out as we go along, and you just driving headfirst into stuff also is not helping, all right? So how about you figure out, since you've already been here, since you're very familiar, how we get through these gates so that we can get into
gates?
this.
There are no gates. I've been here so many times, and there have been no gates.
Aren't we in front of some gates?
Can I presume that all of you are walking towards Grip Station as you're saying this?
Yes.
Yeah, we're fighting as we walk.
So as you say, there are no gates. You're turning around talking to them. You turn back, and there are gates. They're relatively recent construction and somewhat ramshackle, but there are gates at Grip Station now, And you see, there's a half a dozen bodies kind of scattered around at various states of decay. That's like at least one or two of them seem to have a little puddle of salt water around them.
The drowned queen.
Oh, do they look like the things that exploded water up top?
Yep.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And then from atop the gates, you see two Vermisian sages with rifles that kind of, they don't quite point them straight at you, but they definitely like put them over the gate to show that they're there, ready to point them at you. And they start to say, "What do you?" And then they recognize Quinn, and their tone gets very icy. I don't know if Quinn has shared with everybody else what happened here. But
I don't even know if Javion knows what Quinn did.
Their tone goes from
not good.
like, "What do you want? Go away," to "What do you want here?"
Why, do you have a tragic backstory that you haven't shared with us? What?
I guess.
Is this a suppressed
you know what?
memory?
I think what's happening here is that they recognize me from my past.
And yeah, for sure. And they don't
I haven't
seem
told
to
you
like
guys?
you.
I haven't told you guys? Huh.
No.
Actually, you know
Funny
what?
enough.
This is probably, you know what, actually, I'm just now remembering something. And can I use my Black Knight ability? Once per
Sure.
session, I can, when we enter a landmark, I can intuit the location of an occult sect whose hidden lore can aid us in our quest.
Sure. Yeah. What lore do you want aid of in this case? Do you know?
So our quest is to get the
Like a warding
rune
from the
warding
stepwell.
rune. Yeah. To do that, we need to get through Grip Station into Stepwell. However, there's this gate blocking our way, so I want to get past this gate.
So here's what I'll say. You know that Stepwell was run a cult that worshipped rats. Rats were the blessed chosen of the moon beneath. They're the creatures that survive everything. They're the ones that rule in the night in the shadows where no one can see. And these cultists would engage in their religious practices with live rats just scurrying all over their bodies with whatever they would do.
Ooh.
And you know that like there are secret adherents of this religion among other kind of settlements. It's not a very popular one. You kind of keep it a secret, but you recognize that one of these two guards is a member of that sect. You have kept their secret, their entire time of your service. Do you want to make up what their name would be?
Let's go with Clint.
Clint, great.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that Clint, who I'm presuming is a man, this drow on the gate with the gun. You know that he is a member of this rat worshipping cult that controls the Stepwell.
Okay, I'll address both of them directly without mentioning that at first. To see, and they ask what we want, so.
Well, yeah, they're like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah. And Quinn's just like, "I'm here to get through this gate. Are you going to open it?"
Why are you trying to get through the gate? Where are you going?
Stepwell.
Well, they kind of look at each other, and they point to the tracks that kind of So Grip Station is basically in the intersection of all these tracks at the very center. A lot of the tracks go into it, but you can walk around Grip Station and continue on a different track. And Clint, kind of points his rifle at one and says, "You know the way."
Yeah, I'm not going that way. I'm going this way. I'm going through the gate. It's faster, so just open it.
So they kind of look at you like, we don't think so, Quinn. Not after what you did last time. Letting these things, and they kind of wave their guns at the corpses that are all scattered around. Letting some of these get into the station and begin soaking it. Do you have any idea how much work you ruined? How much knowledge was washed away in those moments?
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. You don't know why I'm actually going there, and maybe I could help you understand this. Okay, I am more than aware of what I did. Okay, and you know what? That's why I'm heading to Stepwell. And the fact that you're standing between me and what I need to do to fix this just tells me just how little you care about your own personal safety. And I aim like my sights over at Clint. And I'm like, Clint, you of all people should know that what I did is nothing compared to what's going to happen to you if you don't open this gate.
Okay. It sounds like another compel. So why don't you do a compel plus occult, maybe?
Yeah.
Could I help in any way?
Sure. How do you want to help?
I guess we could say, like, we were charged by the moon, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sister
Goddess?
Ariella.
Sister
Ariella
Ariella to stop the horror that is happening outside.
Okay.
Sure. To lent into his story.
Both of you will suffer the fallout from this, or the stress from this.
Yeah, I'm prepared.
All right, so I've got occult, but I don't have compel, so I'm going to roll 3.
Mm-hmm.
5 was my highest.
Ooh.
Okay. That is a failure, and you suffer stress.
All right.
So, I'm going to give both of you 2 mind stress. And Clint just kind of levels. So Clint levels his rifle at you, Clint, and the other one levels their rifle at you, Lind. And both of you are staring down the barrel of a gun with somebody who is clearly willing to kill you, and that shakes you a little bit. What is your current mind stress, Lind?
I'm at 2. You didn't give me any extra beforehand.
Yeah, I'm not keeping track of how much I've given you before, so I just need to roll every time I give you stress.
Yep.
And Quinn, what's your current mind stress?
6.
Okay, so neither of you suffer fallout, so you can continue building. But it is worth noting, Quinn, that if you get more stress and you get fallout, you will get a major fallout and not a minor fallout.
Got it.
Okay, so your ploy to kind of quietly force Clint to back down seems to have failed, and they're both pointing guns at you, fully ready to shoot you and try to kill you. This probably cuts even deeper for Quinn, because these folks.
Ooh.
So, what would you like to do now? You can just pass along.
Is there in these gates, there's like a main sort of an entrance, and that's the place that we're at. And the main entrance sort of has like 2 guard towers, or like higher up on the other side. There's no way of scaling the gates or anything like that. The gates are impenetrable.
You certainly could try. Like, they're not impenetrable. They're not well constructed by any means. Like, this is definitely a recent, I wouldn't say ramshackle, but definitely a jury-rigged kind of solution. So like, these are not like stone crafted to repel borders or something like that. This is, we needed gates to protect it and keep away the horde of these creatures that are coming in, apparently. And we need to put together the best we can now. So if you're like, you could climb over here, but there's people watching right here. So if your idea is that you just want to find another spot to try to scale and climb over, it's entirely feasible to try that.
These people, because I'm trying to think. I have this
Mhm.
spell called Kiss of the Drowned Queen.
You have to touch them.
Yeah, that's right. Well, then never mind. I'm thinking also. All right, and this other way of going around. How far away is that from where we are?
It just like, so imagine that this is like a large building, like a small keep kind of thing, like a small. Wow, hey there, puppy. Yeah, your wolfhound in the distance howls.
Say Scrappy do.
And you hear like so they howl, and you hear kind of a ringing through the chamber, and the sound kind of rises.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Scrappy
and
do.
the sound kind of rises, and you hear this tone pitch like continually rising at the top of the cavern, and then stalactites, little crystals start falling near you and crashing. If you don't find cover, you will be very dangerous.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, I need you to do your little bubble protection
Okay.
thingy.
I see that everyone needs help, and I'm going to invoke the secret name of the goddess. One of the secret names of threefold damn no. Everyone close their ears while I whisper it.
Okay.
Samantha. When I do this, I do this while holding my seeker's blade, and then it manifests into the fragment of Lombre. It, like smoke, like ink dropped in water, it spreads and manifests in my hand. And our enemies are struck senseless, and I attack the gate.
Okay. I'm gonna say that you have to, sure, yeah, you attack the gate. So you speak the secret name of the goddess, you stab the gate. And you can see that like the smoke begins to trail away from it, and slide towards the guards at the gate. So why don't you give me a kill plus
Religion.
technology roll?
Okay. What if I consider it more? Okay, I guess I can't argue with you.
Well, you can, but like the idea is that usually what you roll is what you're using or what you're attacking against. So if you're attacking like a building, technology kind of makes sense.
Gotcha. Okay. So with kill, and so then I would roll 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hi, kitty.
Okay. My highest roll was a 2.
Hey, sweet.
Perfect for
well,
a game.
It's not a critical failure.
I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Ooh.
You need some new dice.
Yikes.
These are new. I don't know. They're, I'll switch them out. I have 10, so these 4 are done.
All right. I'm going to give you 2 echo stress.
Okay.
How much total echo stress do you have now?
That will bring me to 5.
Great. I rolled a 6. You do not suffer echo fallout. So here's what happens. You stab at the gate, and you can see the gate, like the reality around the gate. Well, you can see this. None of you can hear anything at this point. Okay. The guards look like they're shouting at each other. There's a gunshot that fires. The gate seems to start to like bend and warp in on itself. This miasma starts to to extend out. And if anybody's looking too closely at the wound, you're pretty sure that you see it open up and an eyeball pokes out through the other side on this gate. It is a maddening experience to watching what is happening to this gate as you have stabbed through it, invoking a hidden name of the goddess beneath, perhaps explaining why these names are supposed to be hidden. But the 2 guards basically kind of duck in their own covers against these crystals. The rest of you, the gates do not seem to bend. They seem to grow and flex and bulge almost. There's no path in. Would you like to kind of scramble for cover elsewhere and head towards Stepwell, basically?
I would like to leave and go to Stepwell some other way.
Okay. Great.
in relative safety.
Sure. So I think
that's boring. That's boring, Javian. You gotta
Nice. Nice.
Don't you have a big hammer you could use? You're bragging about your strong hammer.
Wait.
I mean, there's these like nice bulging handholds now on the
Oh, yeah,
gate.
there you go.
You could scale it.
You guys are feel free. Whatever's on the other side of that gate,
Just
enjoy.
Who would like to do a thing then?
Oh, I'll let y'all go first.
Lind, what would you like to do? You've been the least active here.
Well, because I was trying to see what was going to happen. You can't.
Oh no, I'm not blaming you.
And is there close cover? Because I really don't want to get hit by these giant stalactites coming in on the ground.
The cover's inside, basically. It's pretty much
the cover...
wide open out here. Do you want to try to climb over?
You know what? There are these nice bulging things that I can jump on and get up on.
Sure,
and we are going to parkour.
Sure.
Like the only
over this
black
gate.
dude in a party of adventures in a house of like horrors, like a haunted mansion. I'm like the only one who's like, no. You
think the rules apply of the black guy dies first in this situation?
I do believe Quinn will end up getting killed first. I wholeheartedly
well, if you keep
that.
running into things head first,
you're the one who keeps going in. We could have just hey, let's talk to these people.
And now I'm the one running away.
So, Lynn,
what is that?
Why don't you roll evade plus cursed?
I have none of those, but I could just roll one die. Is that feasible?
Yeah, that's fine. 50-50 shot.
Let's do it. Oh, please. I want to just try it. Just try it. 6.
Great. So you succeed, but suffer stress.
Ooh, yeah.
So you will suffer 4 echo stress.
3 then, because I have that one bonus there.
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
so...
So you just start climbing up this gate that has started to twist and bulge and be warped by the secret name of the goddess beneath. You manage to get yourself over the top, but you suffer some stress along the way. And what is your total echo stress at this point?
5. Could I do my ability?
Let me see. You want to use your crucibles, what you're saying?
Yeah.
Let's see. Sure. Roll a d6.
Please, if I get 6, I will not be good.
Did you get a d6? You get a 6? Cool. So add 6 to your stress. So you're now at 11 echo stress.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can get 11 or lower on a d12. I can get an 11.
Yay!
So that is major echo fallout.
Ooh. Nice.
So let me just see real quick. What would be a good choice?
I took a chance. It was fun.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could have been fine if I didn't try to clear my own stress, but
probably.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the advice we got during our interview, and offer you 2 different fallouts.
Ooh.
Would you like your eyes?
Oh no.
To change?
Change.
Or would you like your appetite to change?
Ooh. Eyes to change.
It's a really interesting question.
I'm gonna do appetite.
Okay. Great. So you scramble over this wall. So you clear all of your echo stress, by the way.
Yeah.
And you are now suffering the major fallout, the ongoing fallout of meat. Okay. So maybe it's your interactions with everybody lately. Maybe it is the stress of going through all this and just seeing water rise at every spot you go and you turn around. But you just look around and you find it increasingly difficult to find worth in people around you beyond the meal that their body might provide you. So everyone you look at, you know, it's just dull, worthless, soulless, but so succulent. You look at the gate, and you can just see the meat that it's made out of. So tasty. And you look around and you realize everybody else is made of that same tasty meat. So what that means is that anytime that you have to spend an extended period of time with like an NPC, you are basically going to take stress, or you're going to risk stress from just having to keep out of your mind how much you would like to eat them.
Okay, cool. I like that.
So do you want to try to throw open the gate and let everybody else in?
Yes. Because
or does anybody else have a different plan they want to do to try to get through this?
I'm out of here.
I really wanted to see somebody get eaten alive, but I guess I'll settle for this. Yeah.
Well, there's still an opportunity later to help her with that.
There better be.
So
I already kind of pulled my big move here, so I'm just I believe that it will. I don't accept that it has failed. It's just it has led to a chain of events which will result in success.
Yeah, that is a very healthy opinion to have of the situation.
I started these missions with these meat bags. I might as well continue it, so I'll open up these flesh gates.
Okay. Great. So you can open up these flesh gates. If the rest of you want to go in and take shelter from them, and take shelter from the falling stalactites, you're welcome to do so. Quinn, are you going to follow them in and at least for the stalactite fall, stay there? Or are you fully booking it?
So my options are go through the gate and possibly get hit by stalactites, or hide and not get hit by stalactites.
Basically, if you step through the gate, there are some structures inside that looks like you can kind of take cover in. Lind is actually in one, kind of waving everybody in. Well, you still can't hear anything, but they're like motioning, shouting something. And the two guards seem like they're shouting something too, and like waving you away, basically.
Oh. They're clearly waving us away. I'm not going inside there. No, I'm just gonna take cover somewhere else.
Well, there's nowhere else to take cover.
Oh, so
like
the only way to not get hit by stalactites is to go through.
Well, you mean you can also just run for it and cross your fingers.
I'll go get cover and past the gates.
The only way out is through.
Great. So all of you are going to head into Grip Station, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So. All of you head into Grip Station. You kind of take cover as these stalactites. Many of them are just the size of like fingers. Some of them are the size of arms. One or two seem to be the size of like whole bodies. And there's definitely times where these kind of crash down, shatter, and kind of there's like shrapnel of crystal that just kind of fly everywhere. You're all able to kind of cover your eyes and deal with the situation, but you're definitely dusted in these kind of emerald green crystal fragments and dust now. And you're hearing slowly returns, and you can see that the gate is slowly turning back into metal, but now its form has shifted into the kind of like the bulbous meat shape that it had took. It now kind of turns back into metal, but it still has that same mold on it. So the two guards are like trying real hard to figure out how to push this formerly meat gate back together and actually make it close properly. So you're welcome to kind of continue further into Grip Station if you would like.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Great.
Yeah, lead the way. Let's go to Quinn because he's been here before. Lead the way.
Sure.
Lead the way.
Sure.
This just sounds like everyone is telling each other to lead the way. This is
After you.
No.
Go ahead.
Quinn's got
You
it. Quinn's
first.
got it.
Yeah. So Quinn, you'd spent about 6 months since you were last here.
Oh.
So it's been quite a while as you've been journeying around as a Vermissian knight. So it's a mix of familiar and new. The basic structures are all as you remember them. But there seem to be a lot more defenses. There are, these walls that are built up all around. There seem to be Everyone seems to be on guard. Everyone kind of looks over, and when they notice you, you recognize pretty much everybody that you see. Everybody gets a little tense, but you've been let in, so clearly you belong here. But you kind of see through that the buildings have been fortified. People seem to be on patrol. It seems to be like a fortress now, not a library or where sages would be conducting their work, if that makes sense.
Got it.
So what would you like to do in here? Any idea?
I want to get out of here as soon as possible. I don't want to spend any extra time trying to like talk to people or investigate or any of that stuff. Just like, where's Stepwell? Got to get to Stepwell.
Okay, so you're just going to basically head the fastest way.
Yes.
Great. So you kind of start picking up your pace, perhaps, and the rest of your party, I presume, follows behind you. If anybody wants to, note an odd thing that they might see as we kind of have this montage as you race through Grip Station. But Quinn, you kind of head into where, in a normal time, trains would have come in and people would have milled about and boarded a train. This is where tickets would have been sold. There is nobody here now except the Vermissian sages, because the trains don't come ever since the heart was pierced. But even normally, you would have expected some travelers, taking solace here or trading with the alchemist nearby or something like that. But there's none of that. There's just the sages.
I just remembered something. Did you say that the temple where Quinn is going to be able to seek penance was inside Grip Station, or is that later on?
I was suggesting that because, you are out seeking penance for the mistake you caused at Grip Station.
Got it. Okay.
So it's up to you. You can, you as a player might decide that Grip Station has been lost to you and that your penance is finding this rune that will protect the moon beneath. I don't know. It's up to you. We can talk about it.
Is it possible there's a temple in Stepwell?
Probably temple of what? Do you
know? My order.
Probably not. You could try to make a shrine there if you really wanted to.
Would that count?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, we can talk through it basically.
Okay, great.
Like it's not. There's not that like there's not a particular list of things that I have prepared that you have to do basically.
I just want to do penance at the temple, but we're also running low on time, and I don't want to spend extra time in Grip Station.
Sure. So you kind of lead people through Grip Station. You go inside. You go through the chambers and the areas behind Grip Station, and you lead them to a side path, like a smaller rail that heads in the same direction. That should be a lot faster than the main rail. And the one thing, actually, you lead the path. You guys are all kind of marching out that way. You hear a few cries behind you of your former comrades, asking what you're doing, crying out to you. But I imagine you kind of ignore them, tune them out.
Yeah, just shaking my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeneth, as you leave, you can see that he basically has led you down a couple layers. A couple floors of storerooms, and a couple floors below there's another junction of rails, and that's where he's leading you off. Mm-hmm. As you kind of get to that last junction of rails, you walk down the stairway, and Quinn is leading the way out. You can see that down the stair seems to be coming a little trickle of seawater that is ever so slightly increasing in speed as you kind of head off into the darkness and towards Stepwell.
So is the water that's coming down, is it going and flowing in the direction that we're going?
Yes.
Great. Love that. Love to see it.
It also means that something is inside Grip Station, flooding it from the inside. So Grip Station may be lost and cursed now at this point. So, you descend now into Stepwell. This would be another chance for us to kind of go through a delve where you are going from one theoretical haven of Grip Station to Stepwell. But we are running low on time. So why don't we just make some quick rolls to see how well you progress through this process. Why doesn't everybody roll delve? Yeah, let's see here. Delve and Warren, maybe? These are, so you lead them along the rails, and things become very tight. They become very twisting. Tunnels seem to loop around in other tunnels. The rails seem to climb up the wall almost. It's warped and twisted in on itself. So it looks like we have a 5.
I have a 4.
5. We have a 4.
8.
8. Okay. So what it sounds like is this is a harrowing experience. It is dark in here. It is cramped. It is almost impossible for all of you to keep up with each other, to stay together. At some point, it is only through Tenacity's, I don't know, luck or determination.
Belief.
The belief in the Temple of the Moon, or the Moon Beneath, that sees you through. And it is dark and terrifying and incredibly stressful on the way through. You see monsters in the darkness that reach out to you, that almost grab you, before Tenacity leads you out into an open area that's suddenly bright again. Does everybody know what a step well is, by the way?
No.
Nope.
So imagine an inverted ziggurat. You know how like a ziggurat is like the pyramid with kind of like the steps?
Okay.
Flip it over, shove it in the ground, and then remove it. And the shape that's left is kind of a step well. And then just put stairs along all the ways that go to the bottom.
What is a ziggurat?
A ziggurat is a pyramid that is usually relatively short, but instead of, say, like the Egyptian pyramids that have relatively smooth sides, it's the Mayan step pyramids.
You ever see a limestone mine? It's kind of like that, right?
Nope.
A quarry. Oh, never mind.
So a step well is a place where, on the surface you would store water, and you have these stairs that let you go all the way down to the bottom. If you search for, like Google search for step well, you'll kind of get an image of it. But before I describe what's in the step well, let's see how much, how harrowing all of this was for you.
Yes.
I'm going to say that this is blood stress. So that's 5 blood stress for Lind, 3 for Yeneth, and 1 for Quinn. Seems like Quinn's armor perhaps protected them. So, Lind, what's your total blood right now? Wow. Okay. Let's see how well this works out for you.
Whee!
5, you say.
It was nice to know you. You had fun.
And Yeneth, what is your total blood stress? 3.
Trace.
Hey, looks like you get minor fallout. So Lynn's going to get major. You're going to get minor. And what is your total blood stress, Quinn?
1.
Okay. You do not suffer fallout.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. There we go.
I keep looking at my abilities to see, like, can I do this? Can I do this? I'm just like, doesn't really need to.
Yeah.
So, Lind? I'm sorry. This is minor fallout. For minor blood fallout, for Yeneth, one of those monsters that you just barely managed to escape from, clawed down your leg. So you've bandaged it. You're not bleeding, but you're now limping, which means that whenever you need to make a check that involves like moving rapidly or stealthy, it's going to become risky. So we'll see if that comes into play.
When you said crawl down my leg, you didn't mean like my pants leg. You mean like my human skin leg.
Yeah, like it clawed, not crawl. But although crawl does sound good. Yeah, sure.
I made it worse for myself.
Sure, yeah. So at some point you were horrified to discover that it's not that the monsters were attacking you from the outside. It's that they were inside your leg. And you had to cut it out.
Oh,
See that? Yeah, I like that better. That's gross. Yeah, I
Yep.
can see it like rippling through. Yeah, where it's like crawling between the skin layer and the muscle layer.
Yep. So you had to take your knife and cut open your leg to pull it out.
Yeah, for sure.
And that is why you're limping. So you can clear all of your blood stress. Lind, you can clear all of your blood stress as well.
What happened to me?
Let's see.
Make it gross. Make it gnarly.
Actually, you know what? I know. I can go ahead and say something, right? Because just all this stress,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
my own meat, and the hunger just got to me.
Okay.
Are you making up your own trauma and
So
damage?
some of my flesh from my arm is gone because
Sure.
I peeled it off with the knife to relieve my stress and ate it. Because I'm just meat. We're all just meat.
Yeah. So absolutely, you your arm is effectively out of commission. It's maybe you've wrapped it up in bandages now, but if you need to use that arm, it's going to be risky or dangerous. So Tenacity, you lead them all out of this, and you turn around to see what state your allies are in, and you find that Quinn seems okay, but Yeneth has a huge wound that she's bleeding from on her leg that she seems to have inflicted herself, and Lind seems to have blood kind of smeared around her mouth, a bloody knife, and long bloody bandages on her arm. And perhaps an innocent look on her face.
Yeah, she's full, but she's not hungry, but she's
at what cost?
Yeah, at what cost? So when we come out of this tunnel, I look around, I see everyone, and I say, "Folks, let's take a beat here. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, and I think that we need to just take a minute to process a little bit."
Okay.
If everyone holds hands, goes around in a circle, and just shares your pain with us. If we work through this, I believe that this will count as administration, where I will offer solace and calm in a world of chaos. This is a service of praise. And I believe if we all do this, then you can remove one minor blood fallout.
Whoa. Is that true? Is that allowed?
Only if you hold hands and speak the truth of your pain to the rest of the group.
Damien says no to holding hands.
So yes, so what this will allow, if you will submit to this ministration, it will allow commit to it. Everyone can downgrade one blood or mind fallout one step. So if you have minor, it's resolved. If you have major, it goes to minor. So perhaps I should describe the rest of the step well before you decide. So you've turned and you're saying this basically. And you can see, the rest of you can see behind Tenacity that the step well has flooded almost up to the level that you're at here. You can see little waves kind of lapping at the stairways. Below the surface of the water, an explosion of coral of all different kinds of color have grown and filled the whole step well. You can see tiny fish flitting, shoals of fish kind of schooling around in this open well. And you can see the bodies of a number of cultists. Quinn, you recognize them as the rat worshipping cult. You can see their bodies kind of floating at various points in the water, coral having grown out of them. And in the middle of the stepwell, the coral seems to come together into this throne that is made of coral and kind of a rime-crusted salt. And upon that throne is the limp body of a woman in kind of a simple but clearly well-made robe, and her head just kind of laying back on the back of the throne where you can't quite see it. So she lays there limp, and there is a coral footpath from where you are that is fairly narrow, but kind of imagine like stepping stones that you get in like a house or across like a fairy pond or something like that, that leads to this throne, and the surface of the water is just enough to sometimes lap over those steps.
And we're talking about like a large body of water. We're not talking. Are we talking about like kiddie pool? We're talking about the pool at the YMCA. What are we talking about?
Probably like Olympic-sized swimming pool distance thing. Like, so you're in a step well, at the top of a step well, and maybe 50, 80 feet on the other side, you can see the other side of the step well, and you can see that there's a door. And again, Quinn, you would know that this is like one of the chambers, one of the library chambers that this cult would have managed, and this is where a lot of their writings would be. And you can see through the water a number of these kind of robed figures, the ones that were vomiting forth the salt water, are moving back and forth from one chamber to another, dragging these armfuls of soaked parchment and gold jewelry and treasures from one chamber to the other. And the markings on this one door on the far side of the stepwell seem like basically there's all these different chambers that are kind of scattered around that have valuables of some kind in them. The only one that's not underwater is on the far side.
I think this is where Quinn's going to try to make his penance. So
Okay.
I think he'll approach the pool of water.
First,
sorry, go ahead.
Tenacity was offering administration, basically.
Oh,
I think you may have stepped away when we were talking through that. But
Yeah,
basically,
sorry.
Tenacity has turned around, and the rest of you see this behind Tenacity, but she hasn't really had they haven't really had a chance to kind of gauge this yet. So they are suggesting that all of you hold hands and share your true pain, so that you can feel the benediction of the goddess beneath.
Give me them hands. Give me them mittens.
All right.
Lynn,
Yeah,
you
sure.
may participate.
So, but would this help my arm? I guess.
Mhm.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me those flesh.
Great.
Flesh
So
mitts.
you all hold hands. So Tenacity, you lead them in a brief service of praise of the goddess beneath. Is there anything else you want to tell them?
If you believe in yourselves and you believe in the goddess of the moon, there's nothing that you cannot do. Whatever is behind me, I can see by the looks in your eyes that maybe there's something behind me. But one of the techniques that I've learned is there's no sense in looking forward until you have prepared yourself inside. So I just really think if we all hold hands, we can really manifest a sense of communal healing. And, again, you have to save yourself before you can save others. I don't know what's behind me. I don't acknowledge it.
I don't. Okay.
This is part of the moon mindset.
As
It's really
Tenacity,
powerful.
as Tenacity says, I don't acknowledge it. You can see the head of the woman on the throne, like, slowly begin to rise and shift forward as you finish your ministration. So if you had minor blood fallout, it is resolved. If you had major blood fallout, it becomes minor. So in your case, like you can feel some of the healing power of the goddess, or perhaps you're just now inured to the pain and it no longer bothers you as much.
You get a pinky back. You have
Minor arm pain, then you would say? Yeah. I got painkillers. Got the good stuff.
Great. So, Quinn, it sounded like you have a plan you'd like to enact now.
Yeah. So, in absence of having like any occult dressing, he is going to take out his vial of rainwater, and then he's going to go over to the pool of water, and hopefully, if nothing like tries to stop him, he's going to take the rainwater out, and then I have an ability called Vermisian Plate, and it says if I consume a resource with the technology or occult domains by augmenting my armor. Okay. Can I like put myself in the water? Can I like sort of like submerge myself? Would that work?
Sure. So you're basically trying to turn your armor into something that will kind of protect you from what the water might do to you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because my aim is to
Are you trying to rescue this woman that's submerged underwater? Because
no, to be clear, the throne is on top of the water.
The throne's on top.
Okay.
So I can inflict stress on a delve or adversary.
Mm-hmm. So, like, if you want to use one of those abilities, that's fine. But if you also just want to say, "Hey, I'm using my rainwater and my armor, and I'm using this ability, and I want to be able to breathe underwater and move fine underwater," that seems totally within
Yes,
this range.
totally. Yes, that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I also have an ability called Slumbering Eternal where I can breathe underwater.
Sure.
But at some point, I think I want Quinn to like drink some of the salt water and have to like vomit it up.
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Why would you do that to yourself?
It's his order. It's one of the major tenets of their order.
Okay.
It's gross, right?
So Quinn, do you drink this rainwater and then step under the surface of the salt water, basically?
Yes.
Okay. So Quinn takes this vial of salt water that you have. You drink it. I'm sorry, rainwater. I apologize. You drink the rainwater of your homelands. Far to the south, the war-torn Nolish empire, and holding the water in your mouth, not swallowing it yet. You step into the salt water, and you go down the steps of this step well, and you can feel the water rushing in and filling, and it hits the demon engine on your back, and you can hear the water hit the engine, and there's this incredible roar of steam and enraged infernal power as it soaks through the engine. And eventually the water goes over your head, and you let the rainwater out of your mouth, and it forms a bubble kind of around your head.
Ooh.
Of like fresh, pure water that will keep you breathing under the salt water.
I think it's probably going to look a little bit more violent than that to the outside. It's going to be more of like sort of like he does swallow it, but he's like inhaling salt water through his nostrils, and it's like getting into his like he's like swallowing it, and he just like expels, and then that's what creates the bubble. But it's like a violent sort of like stinging pain in like his brain.
Yep. So you suck the salt water in, and then you expel it, refusing to allow it near you, and that kind of creates a little bubble of air for you to breathe in. So you have denied the salt water even the courtesy of touching you, basically. So you descended down the steps into the water. So to be clear, just so everyone kind of understands how it laid out, the step well is basically a square, and it goes down to a point at the bottom. There's kind of bodies scattered around. There's little doors that lead into other chambers. You see some of these robed creatures kind of moving between those, carrying different things. The throne upon which you saw somebody is at the top, at the very surface of the water. And on the far side of the well from where you are, that's where the one remaining dry door is. So Quinn descends into the water. What do the rest of you do? And the body is beginning to kind of shift and move.
My curiosity wants to see what's in the dry door.
Bonsai, I think you're muted.
Oh
no, I hear you. Go ahead.
Hello?
I can hear Bonsai.
Oh, that must have been my headphones then. What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying there's the one dry door, right? What's behind it? I'm curious.
It looks like it's probably a chamber of kind of like a library chamber of some kind. You can't really see very well into it, but based on what people are pulling in and out of the other chambers underwater, it looks like there's probably treasures or something inside there.
Oh, okay, never mind. It's just more treasure. Never mind. I thought it was something else.
Hold on. I'm not getting any audio.
Hello?
Here, hold on a second.
I can hear it. I hear it before.
Oh no!
Oh,
What? You don't want to go in and get that treasure? I'm sorry. How many doors were there again? There were.
At least more than one, right?
There's
Yeah,
one
there's
dry door across the
Uh-huh.
step. and then there are multiple submerged doors underwater, and it looks like the creatures are dragging, are carrying stuff from out of the doors, between the doors, things like that.
Is there one door that's submerged in particular that's like, I'm trying to think about like if there's multiple doors that are submerged, but they're just going in and out of all of these. Because
you want to figure out a pattern, maybe?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Yeah.
You know what? For funsies' sake, the lady that's passed out on the chair, right? She's about to rise.
Looks like it.
I am going to initiate talking to her.
Okay, so you're gonna just shout from here, or are you gonna walk up the step path?
Hey, lady, get up off that thing.
No, I'll just be like, yeah. I mean, kind of like, what has gone on here? Because obviously she's there. I'll walk closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna go talk to the lady on the throne.
Yep.
What is Tenacity gonna do?
I'm gonna sort of follow behind Lind, and then but I'm also like gonna have one hand inside my jacket where my pistol is.
Okay. And it sounds like Yeneth is going to try to observe where they're bringing things to figure out where the treasure hoard is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about using the Slumbering Eternal so I can just go underwater.
Sure.
And try to figure out, so is there a source of where this water is coming from, though?
Not that you can see. Previously, the source, the creatures, the robed figures that are moving back and forth, that look like to be, kind of drowned bodies of all different kinds of ancestries. It's from them that you have seen the water pouring out before. They're known to be the vassals of the drowned queen, basically. So your ability is you just no longer need to breathe air. You don't. It's not a thing you need to activate necessarily. You just can't drown. You can't asphyxiate. So you no longer need to breathe. If you just want to dive in and swim around, you can go right ahead.
Great. I just want to dive in and swim around.
Okay. So interestingly, our party splits along the two established lines, 2 going to talk to the body and 2 going to explore underwater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoops.
If we die, we die like men.
Yes.
Let's go out.
So, the underwater crew, what are Quinn and Yeneth looking for underwater?
The warding rune.
Yes.
Anything that might look like something that looks like a warding rune.
Okay. And Yeneth, are you doing the same thing?
Absolutely. And also trying to find some more gold. But yes, absolutely. Yes.
So the 2 of you are splitting up, basically trying to go to different locations or different doors and go in
For more ground, then.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So tracking something down sounds like a hunt roll to me.
Okay.
Or a discern, actually. I could see either
I
one.
think it sounds more like a discern to me. Yeah. Okay.
And this also strikes me as either occult or religion, because you're
I like
occult.
occult. Occult works for me.
I like either of those, actually. Either or.
Okay. So it sounds like both of you are going to be fairly good at this. We'll see. However, as you submerge and start going into these rooms, you see the robed, bloated, drowned bodies that have been moving back and forth seem to drop their treasures and move towards you much more quickly than you have seen them move when you were dealing with them above in the air.
I tell them to stop it. I tell them to cut that out.
This is going to be risky as you try to, basically fight sharks underwater.
Okay.
So,
Wait, they're sharks?
They're sharks.
what that means is that when you roll your dice, you're
Uh-huh.
going to take away your highest die and then tell me your second highest die.
Okay. That's not very cool of you. That's not very cash money of you, but all right.
I don't know. I think it's pretty cash money. Oh my gosh. Oh, why though? Can I just have the high one?
No, I think literally, like, I find it very interesting that the rule is not just roll one fewer dice. The rule is roll, see what you would have gotten, take that away. So it just like twists the knife.
It's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is
Cool.
definitely not cash money.
Yeah, I have to agree, unfortunately.
Okay, then Jimmy, you go first.
Quinn, what'd you get?
Maybe you should go. You can go first.
Wow.
Okay.
By all means.
It was a 4.
Wow. All right, Quinn, what'd you get?
My first
2.
one was an 8. Oh god.
4 and a 2. Okay.
The first one was a 7. Ugh.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna stick with blood here, I think.
I tell them to, cut it out. I tell them it's not very cash money of them.
Hey guys,
And,
listen
Oh,
up.
Quinn, you suffer 7 blood stress,
Yikes.
and Ineth, you suffer 6 blood stress.
Oh, does my blood protection
Yes.
help me with this?
Yep, it reduces it by whatever your protection is.
2.
Great. So then you suffered 5. So what is your total blood stress at this point?
6.
Great. You suffer.
I'm going to use not yet.
Okay. What does that do?
For the rest of the session, I do not suffer the effects of blood or mind fallout.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
wait, can I undo something? Can I fix something really quickly? Can I undo?
This is
What
not the time
action?
for this.
I can use unorthodox method, which would give me a 6. I can use it once per session.
Okay. What is it? So it allows you to just use a higher. Does it add to your total or something like that? What does it do?
Yeah, because my number before was 4, and now I
Okay,
get
so it
6.
just adds 2 basically.
Yes, please.
Cool. Sure. I don't see why not. You'll
Thank
still
you.
suffer stress, but you'll succeed.
Yes. It doesn't matter. Life is stressful. I went to speed.
What is your current stress? Your blood
My
stress?
current blood stress is 6.
Okay. Great. So both of you will suffer stress. Quinn, you don't have the effects of the stress, but you still suffer it.
Okay.
So Quinn, you are kind of swamped by multiple of these creatures. They prevent you from really getting into any one of these chambers where you're pretty sure the rune would be or something like that. Although you can see kind of floating in the water all this soaked paper that you can see the runes had been drawn on, and the ink is just like bleeding off of them, and they're completely ruined. So would you like to either be maybe disarmed where they're taking your weapon away from you, or would you like to be spitting teeth where it is extremely difficult for you to speak or look respectable?
Spitting teeth.
Okay. So these creatures are swarming all over you. And they're trying to get to your face. They're trying to get the water in your mouth. So they're like reaching their hands in. They're putting their hands in your mouth and just pulling and pulling. So you just kind of end up suffering just blood all over your mouth. Some of your teeth may have even been pulled out. It's kind of hard to tell through the pain. But it will be very difficult for you to have like a straight or serious face for a while. Both of you remember to clear your blood stress.
My ability means that I just don't suffer that until later, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. And then, you can either be furious and that this is too much, and you are angry at this situation, and this is bullshit.
Already there. Got it.
So you want to go with that then?
Wait, no, what's the other one?
Let's see here. Or one hits you in your head pretty severely, and the whole world seems to swim and spin, and your next couple actions are going to be real tough.
I'm just going to be real angry because
Okay.
I'm already there.
Great. So you are you are furious, which means you can't assist anyone else.
That's fine.
I kind of figured you wouldn't mind that.
Too bad, sucker. You're on your own.
But you did succeed. So you kind of are just barely able to swim past these folks into one of these chambers, and you find a golden, like not a seal, but a golden mold almost, or a stamp that you think that has the warding sigil, the warding rune on it. Yep.
Did it.
But at the top, on the throne, we have Lind and Tenacity. So, Lind, what are you saying to this person? So you can see their head kind of comes forward, kind of like knocks and then comes back up. And you can see a little bit of seawater comes out of their mouth when they do that. And their eyes are kind of white and clouded, like they've been dead and underwater for a long time.
I guess I just basically do the, like, I go up and who are you and what have you done to this place? Or like, who is responsible, I guess. What has happened?
What's going on here?
Yeah.
So the lady says, and as she kind of talks, water dribbles out of her mouth. And you hear kind of the rumble of the sea in her speech. And she says, "The drowned queen has arrived and established her domain. Are you here to make obeisance to her majesty?" And meanwhile, underneath, like, Yeneth is struggling with these things, and Quinn is fighting things underwater.
While I'm fighting things underwater, could I activate another ability?
Sure. What do you want to do?
I want to activate my etheric field.
Okay.
And have just like a burst of lightning sort of just like exude out of me.
Sure.
Okay.
And gain 3 echo protection and deal 3 echo damage to all the adversaries nearby me.
Okay. Great. So you, there's this kind of, right as the body asked that, there's this electrical burst, and there's a sphere around Quinn, your Vermissian knight down there. And you see this energy just kind of pulsate out. Like, it looks like a movie effect of like we're setting off a nuke underwater kind of thing. It pulsates out. And Quinn, you're probably the only one who can see, but all the little vassals around you, all the creatures around you, you can see that they kind of jerk and shake away from you, and all of their fingernails and their teeth and their eyes just flash change into coral.
Oh.
And you can see that they kind of like jerk away from you before kind of like slowly, and you can almost hear a grinding as they turn their attention back to you.
I guess for when she says like the drowned queen, I'm obviously of the moon faith, I guess. Am I of the moon faith, I'm guessing? Well, I will.
Drow, so a lot of drow down here are, but you can determine how faithful you are.
Well, I mean, I have from tenacity, like we just kind of like created this bond, and I'll just basically intimidate and tell her, no, we reject the drowned queen. This is the moon temple. This is the moon's area.
Okay, sure.
And we will banish thee.
Sure.
It would be difficult. It would be difficult to remain my friend over a long period of time without, kind of.
Yeah, without he it just makes him happier. Eventually, he talks enough, I guess, faithful. We've been through trials and tribulations. So yeah, no,
Sure.
I will basically say that we are here. Are you like basically if you are representative of the drowned queen, we will remove you.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like maybe compel plus religion.
All right. Well, not a cult? Are you sure it's not a cult?
Doesn't sound super cult to me.
Dang it. All right. Going. 10.
You got
Nice.
10? Great. So,
That's the first
Sure.
10 I've seen today, I think.
Yeah, that's amazing.
you think we would have had more?
The days are not in our favor.
Roll 2d8 for me.
Okay. I only
tell
have
me
one
what you
d8
get.
right now on me, so I'm
Oh,
gonna
I can do it
roll
for
one.
you then if you want.
Huh? All right.
Two.
I got a 1 on 1.
Okay.
And then I got a 1. I got 2 1s by the power of the moon.
I told you I could have rolled
Not-
for you. I got a 10 total, but that's fine.
Since I was
I'm so sorry.
Since I had sort of readied my pistol, can I like react now
Sure, yeah.
to? And can I shoot her out of a religious?
Yeah,
Can I be animated?
you can kill religion if you would like here.
That's what
Oh
I
my
want
God.
to
Give
do.
me a kill religion roll.
I want religion to guide my
Roll for heresy.
pistol.
Wait, do I hear any of this stuff as I'm like fighting and doing any of this stuff? Because
so weirdly enough, yeah. You don't hear what they're saying, but you definitely hear like it was just being whispered right in your ear, right next to you. Everything that the body that she's saying, yeah.
Because I need to do something. I've been searching for the drowned queen this entire time, and this person is like a representative of the drowned queen.
Sure, you don't know.
Okay, well, how do I gotta get out of here?
Yeah, so while you're thinking about that, why don't we get our kill religion roll?
Yes, let me religiously fire my pistol.
But if
I got an 8. An 8 is the highest one.
Great. So that succeeds. You suffer. No, 8. You don't suffer stress. So you shoot them.
I feel good about this.
And how much damage does it say your weapon does?
It does a D6 range.
Great. So you have a breech pistol. So you fire your shot, and you'll have to reload it basically before you can fire again.
Yeah.
But yeah, you shoot her right in the head.
So I'm gonna roll. I got a 1.
Sure. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So Lind chastises her and says that in the name of the moon we will punish you, and Tenacity fires. And you hit her right in the head, and her head kind of jerks back. Is there a thing that you want to do there, Yeneth, or you want me to continue? Do you know what you want to do?
No, this is bad. This is really. Wait. Okay. I'm like.
Because you haven't told us about the Sea Queen. As far as we know, we don't.
Excuse me, drowned queen. This is.
Oh wait, so is that
okay? The Sea Queen. Okay.
we don't acknowledge her.
Okay, so I'm like struggling to get out of the water, like as all this stuff is going on, and I'm trying to get out of this situation, swimming as fast as my arms and legs can carry me, so that I can climb onto where the throne where the other people are at, right? And like as I get on top of the throne, after all of this chaos has happened, I'm like losing my mind, right?
Okay. So why don't you give me an evade plus religion roll? Quinn, what are you doing during all this? Because something's about to happen on this throne that's pretty big.
I just activated my etheric field, and I'm just like using it to get myself out. If I see that Yeneth has gotten the warding.
It's a little unclear. Sure, you can definitely like glance over and there's a glint of something gold in her hand. She certainly could have it.
That's got to be something good. At least we could talk about it when we get back out.
Okay.
So I'll just
swim out. You're going to try to get yourself out of the water too? Are you heading towards the throne, or are you heading somewhere else?
Away from the throne. Okay.
Great. So then you will kind of race your way up the steps back to the surface. Yeneth, what was your roll?
Just like bust out of the water. I'm like dripping wet. I'm just like panting.
2.
Okay, so you are desperately trying to swim, and then one of the bodies that you can see that has all these little rat teeth bite marks all over it, that was dead, that has coral kind of growing out of its chest, just reaches out an arm and grabs your leg. So you will suffer 1 blood stress, and that does not trigger fallout. So you are not at the surface to see that as Tenacity shoots this body, and Lind kind of abjures it. It shakes. The head kind of jerks back, and it's almost like a puppet had someone pull its strings as the body just kind of jerks up into the air, and you see the coral throne just bursts, little shrapnel of coral flying everywhere, as a huge jawed mouth kind of comes out, and you see that the body was the end of like an anglerfish.
Oh God!
Like thing over the top.
Gnarly.
Nice.
So I think that this is a dangerous situation for Tenacity and Lind to dodge out of the way here. So this would strike me as either evade. Evade plus religion, maybe.
Okay, I like that. A religious evasion.
Actually, I'm gonna do something.
Okay, what are you gonna do?
Is there a way for me to essentially help Tenacity get out of the way while morphing into my true form?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I'll do.
Yes.
So Tenacity, roll an extra die.
okay.
So this is a dangerous situation, Tenacity. So that means that you are going to take away the 2 highest dice.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
But how many dice do you have
Oh.
total? You get
I've
1.
got 3. Okay, I've got 3 in my hand.
Great. Go ahead.
Okay, well, my 2 highest were 9 and 2, which leaves me with a 1.
Oh
Well-
God! You
What
better
is
be helping
this
me.
single? Okay.
That is a critical failure.
Oh no!
Very disappointing.
So,
My friend.
seeing as how we are at time, basically, I think that this is a good time for catastrophic fallout or critical fallout.
Yes. Catastrophic.
Sure.
Cool.
So
Let's do it.
critical fallout. So Tenacity, you try to dodge out of the way, and Lind even pushes you out of the way as something is happening to Lind. But this spear, imagine like a great underwater spider or a great underwater crab or something like that. This spear kind of stabs up out of the water from the side, just goes like right through your ribs. And you know that you are not going to survive this wound, and you are bleeding out. So you're going to be able to do one useful thing before you die. So think about that for a moment. Lind, what's your true form?
So basically it's gonna look real gross. Like think of like a kind of like out of nowhere, like almost like a reptilian, almost like I wouldn't say dragon, but like that kind of like smaller, like almost like a
like a drake or something like that?
No, not a drake, like a Komodo dragon.
Oh, sure.
Like a Komodo dragon essentially rips out of my skin form. It's like a shed.
Okay.
And it just like expands out, like my body would be smaller than this.
Sure.
And
it basically bursts out of this, like the Hulk would burst out of clothes.
Yeah, well, it's like a ripping, like
Sure,
a
yeah,
slow
yeah.
ripping.
That
Okay.
episode of Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you push him aside, and then your skin starts to stretch and go thin, and then burst open
Yes.
as this Komodo dragon creature covered in your own blood. You reveal that as your true form, and this is horrific enough that any enemies who are nearby would just suffer stress from
Yep.
even seeing you, basically.
Yep.
So what are you intending to do? Are you going to attack this creature?
I'm attacking the creature. Yes.
Sounds great. So you see Quinn and Yenith. You can see that Tenacity is pierced straight through the chest, basically.
Yeah.
And Yenith, you're still kind of gripped by this hand. Quinn, you are just on the surface now. Something sheds its skin. The thing that was Lind sheds its skin, and a reptilian monstrosity leaps at this creature. What do the two of you want to do in this situation?
I gotta get to the top of that throne. I have to get to that.
Did you get the warding rune?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's not what we're dealing with. This.
Well, let me have it.
Oh, okay. Well, I just throw it in the air like, cinematically, and it's like one of those things where like
Sure.
it just like is in the air for a real long time, and you don't know what's going to happen to it.
Snatch it out of the air.
Sure. Quinn wants to get the rune, and Yeneth wants to get the throne. Is that what I am hearing?
So wait, the throne though was destroyed completely, right? And the only
if you are intent on sitting on it, we can, like there's enough of it to sit on, perhaps. But there is like imagine a giant deep sea anglerfish, with a mouth large enough to consume any of you whole.
For sure.
Has burst out of where that throne was.
Yeah, but okay. So the woman on top though was just part of the anglerfish. You're saying?
Yep. You can see that she's just kind of dangling and flying and floating free now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna climb up on that throne. And I'm just gonna sit on that throne.
Okay. Quinn, I think actually Quinn and Tenacity. I want to know what your actions are. Tenacity, you get one more before you pass away.
Okay. My first question, can I speak the name of the goddess again, or is that a once per session?
Sure. No, I mean, it doesn't say once per session.
Yeah, it says one shot, but not once per session. So in that case, this is what goes through my mind as I'm struck with this crab spear. I realized that the reason this is happening to me is because I tried to evade, my faith wavered. And so with the last remaining amount of my life force, I put it into speaking the name of the goddess and flinging my fragment of lombre at the beast. And so I say, Samantha, and throw the whatever it is. Throw the fragment of lombre.
Okay. Great. So with your dying breath, you attack the creature that killed you and is threatening the Temple of the Moon beneath, basically.
Exactly.
Okay. Quinn, are you going to try to rescue your friends, or are you taking this rune out?
I'm going to take the rune out.
Okay.
Saw that coming. I knew that was coming.
I kind of feel like we know how this is going to end, right? So, Quinn, the last thing you see is, as you kind of turn behind you, the last thing you see is the dangling lure body is kind of brought next to Yeneth. And you see it kind of leaning in to whisper something in her ear, while like behind that fight, you see this Komodo dragon and lizard creature attacking this anglerfish thing. And for like, there is bits of fish flesh and fish blood flying everywhere. And you're like, yeah, she can do it. And then the jaws close.
Oh no!
And then you escape.
Bye-bye.
And Yeneth, the figure kind of whispers into you.
Put me in communication with the drowned goddess. Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Are you the consort of the drowned queen?
I don't know what that means, but hell yes. Let's do this. Yes.
Excellent. And the waters just begin to kind of like rise. Like she kind of steps behind you and puts her hands on your shoulders. And the waters just kind of rise up above all of you. And you can hear water trickling and rushing behind you, Quinn, as you race towards the surface with the warding rune. So what we are left with is...
I'm coming for you, Quinn. Yes. Am I evil? Full evil?
It sounds like it to me.
Fantastic.
Oh, God.
Yes.
So
betrayal.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Bonsai.
No, we totally defended our death, our whatever, our moon goddess.
That's right. Moon team went out strong.
Yep. So it cost 2 of your party to death and 1 of your party to corruption, Quinn. But you, as the sole surviving member, are able to bring the warding room to the surface.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
This is the last time I let somebody else choose my teammates.
Wow.
I like how that's the lesson
Wow.
Tim takes away from this.
Wow.
Yes.
The lesson here is no new friends.
So I would like to revise my statement. I don't think you lost 2 of your members to corrupt evil influences. I don't think you lost 1. I think you lost 2, because it feels like both Quinn and Yennefer are not the nicest these days.
Listen, my
Quinn's
whole thing
got
was
big
trying to
plans.
source for my whole thing was like trying to find power and trying to attain more power, and I feel
Like
like
everybody's
I
like,
won.
oh, Drowned
So-
Queen this and Moon Goddess that. And I'm like, how do I actually save real lives? Oh, here we go. I can grab
But
this
did
road.
you?
As soon as I get back to town, yeah.
All right.
Okay, we'll see about that.
So that was a quick session of heart. So you got some sense of kind of how the rules work, some sense of how stress works, a little bit of sense of how you kind of go from one safe haven and have to blaze a trail to another. And as the deeper you get, the weirder things get. I hope that all 4 of you enjoyed your time playing this. I hope everybody who was watching enjoyed a remarkably dysfunctional group stumbling through the dark together.
Mission
was great.
accomplished.
Yep.
We
Thank
did
you
it.
again to Rowan, Rook, and Decard for sponsoring. Thank you for Grant for appearing on the show earlier for an interview. We have links in chat on where to find their game. I have to say I absolutely adore Heart. It's a very, very pretty little version. It's a very, very fun, creepy game. If you like surreal body horror exploration kind of stuff, I strongly recommend checking it out. Spire is also great if you want the same world, but more of a political, social kind of gameplay. You're playing rebels with a cause, effectively. Thank you to Bonsai, Jordan, Isabella, and Javion for joining us. Javion, I hope that wasn't too much for you.
No, I had a great time.
I didn't deploy the meat wall the first time, so
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I was looking for the meat wall. That was like, when I read that, I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you.
Thank you again for everyone for watching. Don't forget that we have other shows on Gen Con TV. Monday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, we have Board Games with the Brothers Murph. Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, we have This Game Gets Dicey, where 2 folks play a game online, so you can see what some of the digital adaptations are like. And then on Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific, we have Table Takes, where several of us who are on the stream right now will talk you through our, as Isabella would say, spiciest takes on the news of the week and the Kickstarters and bundles that we are excited about.
Spice.
Thank you again for sticking with us. Thank you for joining the stream, and we hope that we will see all of you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.